Live from Legion Field, a blockbuster matchup in Week 5 of the Alliance of American Football. It's the 4-0 Orlando Apollos against the 3-1 Birmingham Iron. As we take a closer look at the standings in the Alliance, you can see there's a logjam in the Western Conference. But take a look at that East. One game separating the Apollos and the Iron, giving you an opportunity to understand how important this game is. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the booth, along with Marvin Lewis, the former Bengals head coach, and, of course, a former Super Bowl champion, Sean O'Hara. I'm Mark
Coach,
Malone.
good to see you.
Yeah.
Mark,
Right.
good to see you, man.
Guys, I'm ready for some
sharp.
football. Yeah. Hey, let's talk about this Apollos team. As a head coach, you know as well as anybody else, Marvin, you're looking for a quarterback. The old football coach, Steve Spurrier's got himself a quarterback, and they have taken this league by storm.
They have. Coach Spurrier and Garrett Gilbert have been a great marriage right from day number one. Coach said Garrett Gilbert throws a very catchable football.
Yeah.
And Garrett has said how he loves to play in the fun and gun offense. They've done a great job leading the Alliance in every offensive category. And you see his number one receiver, number 12 there, Charles Johnson.
23 receptions for 410 yards. By the way, the only wide receiver in the Alliance to put up back-to-back 100-yard games. Meanwhile, 3 turnovers last week for Birmingham, uncharacteristic. They give up 9 points on those 3 turnovers, lost 12-11. They've got a great defense, but they're hoping to put a lot of this weight on the shoulders of that running back.
Yeah, Mark, their formula has been play great defense, take care of the football, and pound the rock in the red zone. So they're one of the best red zone offenses in the league thanks to that man right there. The former 3rd overall pick for the Cleveland Browns leads the league with rushing touchdowns. He's been their closer when they get down there in the red zone. And we mentioned their defense. I mean, pretty much the best in almost every category. 9 takeaways they forced in just 4 games. So they've been a big part of that formula.
It's a great matchup, the top offense against the top defense in the Alliance. We'll be back with the first half and the first snap of the game from Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. It's the Apollos against the Iron on TNT.
It is one of the most anticipated matchups of the season in the Alliance. Orlando and the Apollos, their number 1 offense against Birmingham's top-rated defense, looking to upset the Apollos today. The first snap coming your way in just a few minutes, but first we welcome you into our Alliance All Access studios. I'm Alex Flanagan, along with Super Bowl champion Kevin Carter, Hall of Famer Rod Woodson, and analytics analyst Cynthia Freeland. Cynthia's going to tell you why there might be a big upset today in just a minute, but Rod, first give me one player to watch in today's game.
For Birmingham Iron, Luis Perez. He's been that quarterback. Everybody knows that. He taught himself how to play on YouTube. I mean, he's 79 of 141, 797 yards. He normally takes care of the football, but last week versus San Antonio, he had 2 interceptions. When he plays well, they play well. My only question is, can he throw the ball down the field on a precise measure? If he does that, they know they have a great opportunity.
Garrett Gilbert, they're going to have to come up with a little bit more because Garrett Gilbert in this Apollos offense is on fire. The number 1 offense in the Alliance. He leads in most passer categories, including a passer rating of 110.9. Cynthia, you can explain to me on the break what that actually means. But over 1,000 yards, his favorite target, Charles Johnson, in the passing game, 410 receiving yards. He is a weapon that they are going to utilize today. The Iron defense has to be ready for Charles Johnson. He catches the ball early and often, everywhere, all over the field. And like I said, he's great with the ball after he gets the ball in his hands with his yards after catch.
Kevin, you make them sound good, but Cynthia here is not going with your Orlando
She's
Apollos,
not sold?
are
You're
you?
not sold?
She's not
I'm sold.
sold.
Jamar Summers has something to say about that.
Oh, yes, what I'm talking about.
Listen, I really like the fact that you brought up big plays because that's going to be a difference maker. I have 17-13 because I have the Apollos. Those big plays aren't going to be able to happen against this Birmingham defense. I think their defense is going to stop these deep runs, these deep passes. And you know what? It's a good upset.
Picking the upset. We'll have to see if it stands and holds up, you guys. All right, we'll be with you throughout the game, and then we'll see you at halftime for the story of Glenn Robinson, the NBA great. His son playing in the Alliance. We'll tell you about it at half. But right now, we get you out to the field in the first snap.
Alex, thank you very much. As we take a look at the weather in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama, 68 degrees, wind out of the north, about 13 miles an hour, 15% chance of rain. Looks like perfect football weather to me as we take a look at the Orlando Apollos getting ready. And who is that man? That's Antonio Langham, the Alabama All-American who played 7 or 8 years in the National Football League, a Jim Thorpe Award winner, placing the ball at the 25-yard line. Hometown hero there. By the way,
number 1 pick of the Cleveland Browns in '93. I had the opportunity to coach Antonio for a number of years when the team made the transition there to Baltimore.
Wow.
So the Apollos have won the toss, have elected to take the ball, and that means Garrett Gilbert will be under center, the only quarterback in the Alliance to have thrown for over 1,000 yards and has yet to throw an interception.
Green 10, set up.
Gilbert quickly out to the flat. The ball intended for his running back into the flat. And that comes incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Sean Price is intended wide receiver.
Yeah, again, this offense last week kind of slowed down a little bit, Sean and Mark, because of the snow there in Salt Lake City, and they came out running the football. Today, obviously, the first play, they're coming out throwing the ball.
Yeah, I'm sure they're a lot warmer in this weather, Mark. You just gave us the weather report. They were freezing, but they had fun after the game in the snow.
Tight end and back in the backfield. Gilbert walking out of the shotgun, throws the ball outside to his running back. That's Dearness Johnson, who picks up enough for the first down. This Dearness Johnson, by the way, this guy does pretty much everything, has won the starting running back job.
Yeah, he's really, as Coach Spurrier said, done a great job being able to earn his opportunity to play and displacing Akeem Hunt, who began the season as their starting runner.
Yeah, started his first game just a couple weeks ago. Comes into this game averaging 5.99 yards a carry. That's pretty productive. But how about them just spreading them out right now early on? A couple easy throws for Gilbert.
Green 10.
Gilbert from under center finds a wide open crossing man underneath. And that, again, is number 83, Scott Orndorff, and Shaheed Salmon with the stop.
Scott Orndorff played for us with the Cincinnati Bengals. A good job, good prospect. Came out of University of Pittsburgh and been one of those guys who's hung around a lot on NFL practice squads and really coming out here and proving he deserves another opportunity to get back to the National Football League.
We have yet to see Charles Johnson targeted in this game.
Green 10.
By the Apollos as Gilbert back out of the shotgun. Quickly underneath for 4 or 5 yards. Throwing it to Jalen Marshall and Beniquez Brown there for the iron on the stop.
Well, Mark, you mentioned the fact that they kind of got off to a slow start last week offensively. None of that here. 4 straight passes against the number 1 ranked pass defense. I tell you, to me, Coach, this has all the signs of we're playing a 3-4 style defense, which you know very well. It's what you ran as well. We're trying to spread them out and get outside of that base defense in the middle of the field.
Yeah, Coach Spurrier does a great job of attacking the coverage.
Green 10.
Marshall in motion. Plenty of time for Gilbert, who finds his intended target right over the middle. Ike Spearman makes the stop as Ronell Hall pulls in the pass.
Really a nice job there, standing in the pocket. Great throw by Garrett Gilbert. As you look at the replay of this, you see the concept of they work in the field and spreading the field horizontally, and you see the spots. They catch his own defense. He's able to throw the ball accurately down, and you see him go through his progression there, Sean.
Down. Green 10.
First and 10 for Gilbert. Down the slot, wide open. Touchdown, Scott Orndorff, and just like that, a picture-perfect drive for the Apollos to go up 6-0.
Yeah, really nice job there. You see the vertical seams, and they're able to attack the 3-deep defense there and to get right down the seam. No carry by the linebacker. Great throw under the back shoulder by Garrett Gilbert. Great touch, great throw, and as Coach Spurrier told us on the call, a very catchable football there, Mark.
They made that look too easy. Wow, that was way too easy.
Much too easy. It's like 7-on-7 in practice for a quarterback. The 2-point conversion now for Gilbert and the Apollos. Quick slant inside to the left side. Looks to be caught, but was he over the intended line? That's Charles Johnson with a catch.
Charles, did
now
you
they're
catch
saying
it?
no catch.
Oh, okay.
Marsh Summers with a tackle.
You know, and you look at the Orlando offense, because of their scoring, Sean, they have had 14 two-point opportunities.
So there it is, the 2-point conversion attempt. It almost was complete, but There were no problems in that drive. Gilbert perfect down the field, hits Orndorff, and the Apollos lead it 6-0 from Birmingham.
This is the story of 5 fearless superheroes.
Justice League 2020!
More TV superheroes, just what the world needs. Ugh.
Do you have a photo printer in there somewhere?
No.
Is it your butt? I bet it's his butt.
Are we really the best people to hunt a supervillain?
Hell no.
When you rent a car on Turo, you're renting from a real person. No shuttle rides, no waiting in line, and no wandering a car lot. This is better than your typical car rental. This is Turo. Download the app today.
Welcome back to Birmingham. That's Luis Perez, the quarterback of the Birmingham Iron, who will now have to figure out a way to take this Iron offense down the football field and score after Garrett Gilbert and the Apollos go 5 of 6, 75 yards, a touchdown to Orndorff, and lead this game early 6-0.
Set. 48.
1st and 10 from the 25, and that's the big fella, Trent Richardson, and he is mauled in the backfield. Terrence Garvin, the first to get there. Will Hill also went on the play.
Yeah, we know the experience of Will Hill. He's been a fine player, starting player in the National Football League. You see him do a nice job filling the box there and making a play in the run there.
Yeah, they call him Will the Thrill Hill when he was coming out of high school, and he got dinged last week, so he ended up missing almost the entire second half last week in Salt Lake. Big play there for him to start out.
Richardson with the 7 rushing touchdowns, but only averaging 2.4 yards per carry this season. As the play action pass by Perez, who steps up inside, dumps it out to Trent Richardson. That ball incomplete. As number 52, Reggie Northrup, the second, comes up and puts a lick on Richardson.
You know, I know we'll get to us as we go through the day today, but you can't sleep on this Apollo defense. They've done a great job. They're leading the league right now and one of the best third down teams, and also in the red zone. And that's been what they've done a great job of throughout this season so far.
Yeah, we rank these defenses by yards, guys, but from a coaching standpoint, it isn't points. They're second in the alliance in terms of points given up.
Mark 5-1.
3rd and 12 now for Perez, who works out of the shotgun.
Time out.
Quentin Patton in motion, and apparently Perez didn't like something he saw there and stops the clock. So he'll go to the sideline and talk to Tim Lewis, and the brain trust of the Birmingham Iron will step aside as well. Back with more action on TNT right after this. That app, by the way, is #1 in both the Google and Apple stores. And if you download it now, there are all sorts of Easter eggs hidden in it. So see what you can find and enjoy.
By Easter eggs, do you mean Cadbury eggs, too? Because
it's right around the corner, my friend.
I love me some Cadbury's. I'm in.
How did you lose all that weight eating Cadbury eggs, my friend?
It's all protein.
All right, Luis Perez, after a little conference on the sideline, faces 3rd and 12. Patton in motion across the formation. And the youngster gets him on the hard count.
Nice job using the cadence there. Hopefully he gets it to a 3rd and more manageable situation here.
Our referee today, James Carter.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 91, causing the offensive player to move. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So nice job by Perez, who, as Coach says, will make this a more manageable situation when they pick up the cheap 5. And this is a 3rd and 7. And one of the things that the offensive coordinator there has been trying to get out of Perez is moving to that 2nd and 3rd progression. Probably going to see a lot of zone from this Orlando defense.
Blue 88, hut up.
Plenty of time for Perez, who steps up inside, goes across the field to Richardson, and he is dropped immediately by Terrence Garvin, and that's not even going to be close to the 1st down.
Terrence Garvin, one of the leading defenders for the Apollos all year. He's got 3 interceptions right now in 4 football games, which is great for a linebacker.
Mark, you mentioned that they try to spread them out right here. You see they go trips left right there. They motion to it. The defense did a great job just keeping everything in front of him. They basically forced him to check that ball down to the running back. And as you mentioned, Terrence Garvin does a great job tackling in space.
Colton Schmidt with the punt. And that hits an Orlando player, scooped up initially by somebody from Birmingham, and now Birmingham says they have the ball.
Well, the rear air on the first Birmingham player, because it's a muff punt, we all know you can't advance it, so you just want to recover it. Just recover it. Make sure you come up with the football. They end up fighting for it and getting it back there. Great job.
So the first mistake of the day by the Orlando Apollos. By the way, in conjunction with the Navy Federal Credit Union, the Alliance is proud to be staging a military seat program where families each week are able to upgrade their seats on game day in recognition of the services. We take another look. It's DeErnest, the running back, DeErnest Johnson there, who muffs the punt.
I think DeErnest had one go through his hands last week in Salt Lake in the snow, and it looked like he just misjudged it. And when you're running up on a ball like that, Coach, if you can't get to the ball, just start yelling Peter and get away. Don't make a bad play worse.
Exactly.
From the 23-yard line, Perez under center. Takes a shot to the left side, has his receiver momentarily, LaDainian Washington, but nice coverage by the Apollos. That'd be number 33 on the play.
I agree, Mark. The quarterback took a shot. He took a real shot. By one
in
of
the pocket he did.
In the pocket, he took a real shot. Defensive lineman, interior lineman there, did a great job. And Leon Orr beating the offensive lineman there.
Hey, I'm under.
2nd and 7
I'm here.
for
Set.
Perez.
88. Blue 88, hold up.
Inside handoff to Trent Richardson, who's wrapped up around the ankles by Will Hill for a gain of 1 yard.
You know, this Orlando Apollo defense, as Sean just said in the last drive, is they're going to put the pressure today on Luis Perez and try to make him have to throw the football and beat them in one-on-one situations.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm looking for in this game, you know, for the Iron, their offensive line has been a carousel. It's been musical chairs. We saw the quarterback hit that Luis Perez took on the play before. Kid O'Brien is making his second start at center. He started 3 games at left guard. They've had a bunch of injuries, so they really had to rotate them, so keep an eye on that.
Blue 88, hold up.
3rd and 9. Perez, plenty of time. Looking down the field, decides to tuck it. He gets out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. Andrew Ankra, the linebacker, number 55, makes the play.
As this play unfolds here, guys, you see this begin with the 4 cross in the secondary, playing a quarters type coverage, leaving a 4 deep zone, and then match up with the underneath 3 guys underneath, the nickel and the 2 linebackers. Nowhere to go with the football. Luis Perez got to tack it and run.
You know, Mark, you talked about his progression, and when we talked to Steve Logan, he said, look, you know, I'm really just trying to use the same concepts with Luis Perez. Just because he hasn't played a ton of quarterback, you know, he's got great accuracy, but it's all about the eyes, getting from the first progression to the second receiver. How quick can you do that?
Nick Novak on for a 35-yard field goal attempt, and it's just a bit outside. Novak, by the way, who came into this game 7 of 8 on the season, misses his 2nd field goal, and an opportunity for points for Birmingham early in this game comes up a little bit wide. Wow.
Couldn't tell if he got the laces there. It looked like he spun it, but I couldn't tell if the laces were out on that hold.
By the way, in conjunction with the Navy Federal Credit Union, the Alliance is proud to be staging a military seat upgrade program where families each week are able to upgrade their seats on game day in recognition of their service.
Well, it's a real missed opportunity there for the Iron. You know, they got to make sure today they get points, because we know this Orlando offense is going to score points. So every opportunity Birmingham gets, they want to put points on the board.
How much time we got? I got you.
Well, a good job by Orlando's defense on a sudden change like that to go right back out there and to basically hold them to an attempted field goal.
The officials now have stopped the clock and have gathered for a conference of some sort. Looks like our referee James Carter is communication with somebody upstairs as well.
That's not very nice.
All right, so apparently they got that all sorted out. This Orlando offense went right through the league's best defense without any problem in the first series. And here we go again, 1st and 10 on the second Apollo series. That's Johnson cutting back to the left side and gets down to about the 39-yard line. Ike Spearman in on the tackle for the Apollos.
Well, a lot of times, Sean, you know, when they have those big runs, sometimes the guy gets their hands where they don't belong.
Yeah, we got some laundry.
Holding. Offense number 66. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, left tackle gets called. So originally, you're going to see him right there. There's your left tackle. They're calling him.
Yeah, he restricts him a little. That's a little grab and restriction there.
A little clutch right in there. When the defender throws his arm up in the air, it kind of incels it a little bit. Kind of, you're going to get that call.
So now we've got 1st and 15 for the Apollos. High formation, and Gilbert fumbles the ball, the exchange, and looks to have gotten right back on it. Sloppy play in this second series for the Apollos. Nick James, the nose tackle, with a chance for a moment there for the Iron.
You know, Coach, you really don't see Garrett Gilbert under center. It doesn't look like the ball got all the way up to the hand. Normally I would side with the center on this, but it looks like the ball was a little bit short. But usually Garrett's in gun, so, you know, maybe this is one of the reasons why.
I know Coach Spurrier won't be very patient with this running game at this rate. I'll tell you that.
And he's back in gun now, too.
Green 10, green 10.
2nd and 15. Fake to the running back. Gilbert with plenty of time, finally gets it back underneath to Johnson, who makes a couple of tacklers miss, gets it back out to the 32-yard line. Xavier Dixon, the first one to get there for the Iron defense.
There's a good example, Mark. As a former quarterback, you know this and what Coach talked about. There's a difference between Luis Perez and Garrett Gilbert. Garrett Gilbert getting to his 2nd, 3rd, maybe 4th progression there, moving in the pocket and finding the open man.
How about the protection in the pocket right there? Dearness Johnson helped out with a nice chip. But really, Garrett Gilbert, I tell you, he's been much more athletic than is advertised.
Green 10, green 10.
3rd and 3 for Gilbert. The quick toss outside to Johnson. Nothing there. Tries to cut it back up inside and gets over the 40-yard line. That's the line to gain. Jonathan Massacoy in on the tackle, but we've got a penalty flag on the play.
Really excellent run. That's a shame this run comes back, but excellent run by Ernest Johnson there. Ernest Johnson making the first down where it looked like there was nothing there, puts his foot in the ground and goes vertically up the field.
Offense number 63, 10-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
That's a right guard, Trey Jackson. And what looked like a first down, they've got to overcome it yet again, Sean.
Yeah, it looked like he pulled out and tried to lead the parade. You know, Trey Jackson's played a lot of football. He's a 4th-round pick from the New England Patriots in 2015. Won a Super Bowl with them, Super Bowl 51. He was on IR with a knee injury, but he's played quite a bit of football.
You got to get a good shot of that play card Coach Spurrier has. These elaborate play cards as other offensive coordinators have. Coach Spurrier keeps it very simple there, as you can see. Here we go. Number 1, 3rd down.
Written on a restaurant menu, perhaps, from the night before. All right, 3rd and 3 for Gilbert out of the shotgun. And looks to get the ball inside to the intended wide receiver, Jalen Marshall, who comes up with what looks to be a first down. Joel Powell with the tackle, 17 yards on the pickup.
You know, they're going to get a good shot of this on the replay again, but Jalen Marshall is a guy that has enough physical tools and ability to play and be a productive player in the National Football League. He's just got to get another opportunity and settle himself down off the field to earn that opportunity.
I tell you, that was a heck of a throw. You could see him sitting down in that zone just over the linebacker's fingertips. Good job by Garrett Gilbert threading that needle.
Down.
6 minutes to play now in the first quarter. Gilbert, play action, rolls right, finds his tight end. That's number 89, Matt Weiser, who gets out of bounds with the help of Jack Tocho, a pickup of 3 yards on the play.
Jack Tocho's done a nice job for these the Birmingham Iron defense this entire season, doing a great job in there at safety. They've been very strong down the middle of this defense, which is why they're leading the Alliance in defense.
7th-round draft pick by the Minnesota Vikings back in 2017.
Down.
Gilbert now will face 2nd and 7.
Green 10, green 10.
Play action for Gilbert under pressure. Manages to get it off to the crossing back. Ernest Johnson. And that'll bring up 3rd down. Down, by the way, that this Birmingham Iron defense has been really, really good at. As a matter of fact, if you're taking a look at it, they've been holding opponents at 27.6% conversion rate on 3rd and 4th down. That is this season at home, best in the AAF. Home team highlights brought to you by At Home, the home decor superstore.
Baltimore! Baltimore Yankee! Baltimore Yankee! Baltimore Yankee! Green 10, green 10!
Play clock counting down for Gilbert. Changes the play, gives it to Johnson inside off the right tackle for a yard or 2. That's Beniquez Brown on the stop for the Iron.
Well, that's a little different check than we were expecting there from quarterback Garrett Gilbert. They're checking into a running play. Again, obviously, they went into the plan looking for something defensively that if this showed up, this is where we wanted to go, Garrett. And, looks like they had a communication deal with the helmet because they look like they're changing helmets with the quarterback right now there.
Yeah, Coach looked like he saw that the corner was up on the line to the strong side, to the tight end side, and he decided to audible the run play to the weak side where he thought he had a little more space. But Beniquez Brown just blew up the play.
So we'll bring on Ben Turk, the punter, and stoppage of play.
Yeah, Beniquez Brown has done a nice job. A lot of these guys that were in the National Football League, that you look, they were in there 16 and 17. These are the guys that are going to earn a second chance, a second opportunity, and they're really going to make good on this. When you talk to each of these head coaches each week, they talk about the focus of their group because they know this is the end of the line. If you want an opportunity, you got to make good on it.
So 5-yard penalty on Orlando, the most penalized team in the Alliance, making it 4th and 8 deep. Devontae Felton will catch it at the 10, and that's where the Iron will start with 3:42 remaining here in the first quarter. Apollos score a touchdown on the opening drive. They lead 6-0. Back with more on TNT after this.
This room definitely needs a rug. Something to take it from okay to OMG. I found the perfect rug at the perfect price here at home, where you'll find every style with the biggest selection at the best prices.
Well, my parents met in Texas, then they moved to Washington. They had me at Fort Knox. They keep all the gold there. After that, we moved to Georgia for a couple years. Then we spent some time in Korea. Seaweed snack. Ew. And now we live here for good.
Our members call many places home.
Oh, lots of questions.
So we made owning a home easier. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Welcome back, everybody. These beautiful pictures from SkyCam brought to you today by Wheels Up as the Orlando Apollos lead this thing 6-0, 3:42 to go here in the first quarter. Ben Turk punt has put the ball on the 10-yard line where Luis Perez and the Iron offense will take over 1st and 10.
Boy, Ben Turk's done a lot of that, down the people inside the 20. He's a weapon for Orlando, that punter. They're people too,
Set. 48.
Patton in motion across the formation. And Perez stumbles out of the play action, tries to get the ball off to Patton. It was wide open on the cross. But it looked like a mix-up in the backfield. You offensive linemen have big feet. These quarterbacks often trip over you offensive linemen.
Yeah, it looked like he actually tripped on Trent as he was going for the play fake. They're getting off to a rough start offensively here.
Yeah, they did go back to more of what they did early in the season with the bootlegs, the nakeds, giving him really 1/4 of the field to read.
99. Blue 99.
2nd and 10 for Perez. They keep it on the ground. That's Trent Richardson over the left side. He picks up 5 and gets out past the 15-yard line. Reggie Northrup on the stop for the Apollos.
Yeah, it's a big hard-nosed run here by Trent Richardson. kind of get everybody excited, you know? The entire Birmingham Iron offense get excited when you see a guy run over folks like that.
We're hearing now that Corin Curvin, the right guard, who, by the way, hurt his left knee last week, has a calf injury, and his return is questionable, which goes to the offensive line issues you talked about earlier, Sean.
Blue 88, hold up.
3rd and 4. Perez, plenty of time, gets it outside to his safety valve. That's Tobias Palmer, who was hit by 2 or 3 Apollo defenders, Ladarius Gunter, Reggie Northrup among them. And that'll be the change.
Yeah, that's a big confidence builder there, Sean. Great opportunity here, as Coach Logan talked about. Here we see Luis Perez moving through that progression, coming back to the 3rd guy underneath, delivering a nice catchable football.
Yeah, pretty good job of him. He almost thought about running. You could see him start to see a little crease, and then he just thought twice about it, said, you know, I'll throw it to my playmakers.
Blue 99. Blue 99, hold up.
1st and 10 from the 24. And that time they run the ball for a loss of 1. Earl Okine was in the backfield for the Apollos.
Yeah, it looked like the penetration caused Brandon Ross to have to make a cut too early and bring the ball back where the defender is basically unblocked, Sean.
I mean, you got Earl Okine listed at 6'7", so he's got go-go gadget arms, I call him. There's no match for the tight end Wes Saxon. He just ragdolled him on the backside of that play.
48. Blue 88, hold up.
2nd and 11. Darius Perkins catches the ball and is hit immediately. Terrence Garvin, who missed a week last week with a knee injury, comes up big on that play.
You're going to see they're going to rotate the free safety down here, right, Coach? And that they're going to bring a blitz right here as well. And they're trying to set up a little screen play right there to the running back. And they were not fooled at all. Really nice open field tackle again by Garvin.
Terrence Garvin made 78 tackles in the National Football League. So this is something this guy's used to playing football.
48.
3rd and 16. Trent Richardson in the backfield next to Perez. Steps up into the pocket. Heaves it down the left side, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by number 29, Keith Reeser, down the right side, inside the 5. Touchdown, Orlando.
No flag.
That's the 3rd defensive touchdown by the Orlando defense this year. So, again, they're doing a nice job of turning the football over and then making good, putting it in the end zone.
Yeah, Keith Reeser, you're going to see him over on the left side of your screen. This is his 3rd interception of the season and his 2nd touchdown. I think that's a poor throw. You try to fit that throw in there late. I mean, if you're going to do that, you better throw it early. But how about the return by Reeser? Gets some good blocks down the field and finishes it.
On the replay, you saw the drop 8 coverage. They dropped 8 defenders back in coverage. Quarterback's got to understand, you get a little bit more time, be patient, but if you have to throw it underneath, check it down, take your medicine, punt the football, let's go play again.
2nd defensive touchdown for Reeser. He returned an interception for a touchdown of 38 yards back in week 2 against San Antonio. And Orlando now, who we talked about, has just not looked back since opening this Alliance season, is up 12-0. Birmingham, who depends on running the ball and playing defense, now is playing from behind. That's never a good thing.
No, not a good recipe for them today. The Iron have to settle down and just put one productive play on top of another.
2-point conversion now for Garrett Gilbert.
They're just bumping.
Johnson lined up
Green
in the
10, green
backfield.
10.
3 wide receivers right. The quick throw back inside to the tight end. Actually, that's Charles Johnson lined up at tight. And the 2-point conversion is good.
Yeah, Charles Johnson, a big body there, Mark. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but a big body, looks like a tight end. Big body.
Just gonna see him do a little pivot route right here.
There's what Coach Spurrier talked about, those catchable footballs. Put it right in the core of the man's body, giving him a great opportunity to make a catch.
Doesn't get any easier if you're Garrett Gilbert. You're basically just reading that linebacker. If he doesn't move to cover that tight end, you just put the ball right on him. If he does, he opens it up for somebody else.
So a fast start for the Apollos, who have a 14-0 lead 44 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. And Perez, who, by the way, taught himself really to play quarterback watching YouTube, which is an amazing story, plays from behind. Brandon Ross is in for quarterback, and Keith Price now has taken over for Perez. Price goes to Patton to the left side near the 40-yard line. That's a pickup of 14. Josh Evans with a stop.
Yeah, they got a little quarterback change there for us with the Birmingham Iron substituting quarterback in there, bringing in Keith Price.
Price, 3 seasons in the CFL, played 4 years at the Washington for the Washington Huskies, and accumulated nearly 9,000 yards and 75 touchdowns. 1st and 10, play action. Price up inside, tucks the ball, tries to run, and is smothered for a yard or 2 loss on the play. And that's going to be the end of the quarter. So Perez on the sideline, a quarterback change for Birmingham. The Apollos lead this thing 14-0 after 1 quarter of play at Legion Field. More of the Alliance of American Football on TNT when we come back.
Team Keith Reeser there with the first quarter pick 6. He returns it, and Orlando leading Birmingham 14-0. We'll get you back to the second quarter in just a minute, but first we welcome you into our Alliance All Access studios. Alex Flanagan alongside Rod Woodson. And Rod, really the difference in this game so far has been the quarterback play.
It really has. I mean, Luis Perez, he 3 of 7, 1 interception, a pick 6. He's been replaced by Keith Price, but Gilbert has played extremely well for the Apollos. I mean, he is 9 for 10, 113 yards, a TD. He has hit 6 different receivers in the first quarter alone. So what he's done for this football team, and this defense for the Apollos is a lot better than what people give them credit for. A lot of people talking about the Iron, but this Apollo defense has played very solid.
Yeah, the Apollo defense looks really good, number 2 in the league. All right, we'll get you out to the second quarter with Mark, Sean, and Marvin. Take it away, you guys. We'll see you at halftime.
All right, Alex and Rod, thank you very much as we recap the kind of strange happenings for this Birmingham Iron team. 3-1 record coming in. Luis Perez, who by the way went 3 of 7 for just 4 yards and throws an interception, is replaced at the end of the first quarter. And now it's Keith Price in at quarterback. College free agent in 2014 with Seattle, played his college football at Washington, where he completed about 64% of his passes for 75 touchdowns. They open it up with a big fella, Trent Richardson, over the right side. Jerome Copeland, the third, with the stop 3 yards on the game.
Yeah, really a big coaching move there, by Tim and his staff. You really got to hope we get production offense, or where do you go from there? That's the thing is the head coach, when you make that kind of change, you got to really feel good about playing your hand.
Yeah, as we see Josh Banks is down. Looks like he's up now, and he's going to walk off. But it does seem like a little bit of an early hook for Luis Perez, given that how well he has played at times. When I look at this move right here, I can't help but think this is all about production right now in points. You find yourself down 14 points now, and you've got a quarterback that has yet to throw a touchdown. You've got to find a way to create a spark, and I think they're hoping that the price is right.
Oh, I like that song.
Well, okay, it took you a while.
Wow. Yeah, well, a little slow there.
3rd and 9.
Come on down.
Big down here, big down.
For Price, who works out of the shotgun. 3 receivers right. Steps up in the pocket, cocks and throws, and finds Tobias Palmer short of the first down. Northrup and Riggs on the play, 7 yards on the pickup, and now a decision for Tim Lewis.
Well, if we see the replay here again, you see a kind of what we call on offense a wrap concept. They got a high-low concept. You see one receiver set down underneath, another receiver setting over the top, and now the quarterback is making the read. Can I wait for the number 1 guy above him to clear? Which was number 10, Tobias Palmer there.
Colton Schmidt will punt it away for the Iron. Does a terrific job of keeping it inside the 20 and does it again. This one down at the 1-yard line. He had 12 punts inside the 20 coming into today's game. 52 yards on that punt.
Marvin, that looked like your pitching wedge.
Yeah, I was going to say it was
drew it back a little bit.
More wedge game there.
Wow, nice job. Holy Schmidt. Look at that. Got the world on a string right there. Look, he's talking to it.
He's actually telling it to kick out of his. I mean, listen, he had that little bit of cut spin on it and kicked it out of bounds to the right side there.
I tell you what, he knows where the weight room is too. He's packing some heat.
Special teams player of the week against San Antonio earlier this season.
Yeah, he put 3 out of his 5 punts inside the 20. I think you mentioned him, Mark. He leads the Alliance.
Yeah, came into the game 12 inside 20 punts so far this season. Devion Smith now in the backfield for Gilbert, who hands it off and right up the middle before he's finally crushed by number 25, Jack Tocho, but that's enough for a first down. 17 yards on the pickup.
One of the things Coach Spurrier hoped that they were able to do is be able to run the football more effectively in the first half of these football games. They've closed them out by running, but he wanted to be able to run it more effectively early.
A nice, powerful run by Devion Smith right through the middle of that iron defense. How about Jamar Summers trying to come up there and dislodge the ball? I tell you what, he showed great contact balance on that run, Devion Smith.
Green 10.
They keep it on the ground, putting it inside again to Smith.
Boy, that's easy.
Who picks up about 7 yards on the play. Nick James in on the tackle for the iron.
So, you know, we talk about this Orlando offense being explosive, and really you kind of think about the passing game. They lead the Alliance in runs over 10 yards, so they're just as explosive on the ground as we saw from Devion Smith. Ernest Johnson certainly plays a part in that as well.
Yeah, 23 runs of 10 yards or more, and now they've added to that at least 2 already in this ballgame.
Averaging 127 yards per game, which ranks 4th in the Alliance, as this time Gilbert pulls the ball out of the stomach, rolls right, and finds Charles Johnson on the right sideline. A pickup of 10 yards as Bradley Sylvie is in on the stop and pushes him out of bounds.
One of the things that makes it more effective, your passing game, is when you can run the football effectively, you're going to open up lanes in the pass.
Yeah, when we talked about Tim Lewis about what's so hard about that RPO offense, he said it really just freezes your linebackers. Now they can't attack downhill. They're kind of hesitating.
Green 10.
Gilbert keeps it on the ground. Smith.
I mean, that's real close to a face mask every single time.
6 yards on the play. Pick up 2nd and 4. Massaquoi, the first one in there for the Iron defense.
Sean, this offensive line for the Apollos is really doing a nice job. You know, we know they've done a great job thus far this year pass protecting, but we see here today where they're in there grinding in the run game.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. You know, it didn't really look like there was even much on that run, but Devion Smith just did a really good job getting those dirty yards.
Green 10.
2nd and 4 for Gilbert. The play action takes it back down the middle and throws it over the middle of the football field, intended for Jalen Marshall. Jack Tocho on coverage, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 4.
Coach, looked like the ball's a little bit behind Jalen Marshall on this throw. You could see that he was kind of waiting for him to clear into that throwing window. And I'll tell you what, though, if he had let him, that would have been a big-time collision. He might have lost that receiver for the game.
Yeah, I think he put it where he felt like Jalen could make a play or nobody.
Yeah, try to protect himself a little bit.
Try to protect him.
It's done.
34% this season in 3rd down conversions for the Apollos.
Green 10.
Gilbert with plenty of time goes across the formation to his tight end, Mac Weiser. Weiser enough, nearly enough for a first down. Picks up about 2 yards on the game. Powell is the first Iron defender on the play.
You know, one of the things the Apollos were, you know, a little bit leery of, and talked to Garrett Gilbert about the 5-man pressure that they would see from this Birmingham defense, and do a nice job here in protection, allowing him to throw the ball underneath to the crossing route, just not enough for the first down there.
A nice tackle by Joe Powell. Birmingham's defense came into this game leading the league in 3rd down. They get off the field on a big stop.
Turk again. Keeps this one inside what looks to be the 20-yard line, down at right at the 20. So Orlando leads at 14-0. Birmingham will have the ball when we come back. You're watching The Alliance on TNT.
There are places in this world that bring things back.
On April 5th, that cat was dead.
Cheers.
Right hand.
A novel by Stephen King.
I know what you're thinking of doing, but then don't come back the same.
Daddy.
The author of It and The Shining.
Sometimes dead is better.
Pet Cemetery, directed by Kevin Kolsch and Dennis Widmeyer.
Welcome back. 10 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the first half. Birmingham yet to get on the board. A quarterback change after an interception. Luis Perez was pulled. And Keith Price now takes over the controls for the Iron, trailing 14-0. Price, again, as we mentioned earlier, 3 seasons in the CFL. Threw 75 touchdowns for the Huskies at Washington, nearly 9,000 yards as he opens it up inside with his running back. That's Trent Richardson. He bowls his way out for about 5 yards on the play. Terrell Worthy on the tackle.
You know, this Birmingham offense needs to, really, as I said earlier, you want to mount a drive. You want to get some points in here. We got 10 minutes left in this second quarter. Let's cut this lead to at least in half as we go in halftime.
Richardson, who has 7 rushing touchdowns on the year, only averaging 2.4 yards per carry on the season. As they keep it on the ground to Richardson, who is eaten up right at the line of scrimmage and drugged back. He coughs up the ball. Whistles blow. We're going to call that a dead ball.
We might get another flag. He threw the ball at the defender.
Take another look at this.
Coach, it looks to me, Trent's going to run the ball out here, but I thought he could have cut it back. See that backside A gap right back there? I thought if he would have pressed it and cut it back, he had some room to run. You could see, right there, that ball's out.
This play's going to be challenged. This ball was pulled out. Whether or not his forward progress was stopped or not, that will be the question of whether that happened. But as you said, you said the key word there, Sean, press. He's got to press the line of scrimmage.
Closer look at the strip, and you can tell that it looks like his forward progress has
forward
stopped,
progress should
but
stop.
The ball is ripped out.
He's definitely not down. The question is really, did they blow the whistle? Had they blown the play dead?
Yeah, I think this play will come back, as it seems as though the forward progress was stopped. He was being knocked backwards when they pulled the ball out.
Our referee is James Carter as we look at Steve Spurrier, the Apollo's head coach.
Of course, for Birmingham, they put the ball on the ground 5 times last week. So this is kind of becoming a theme for them as well.
Yeah, the 3 turnovers last week ended up giving their opponents 9 of the 12 total points on the day.
On the field is that the runner's forward progress was stopped. That play is not challengeable. Orlando will retain their timeout as well as their challenge.
All right, so Steve Spurrier, in a sense, I guess, wins that round. Doesn't lose the challenge or the timeout. Richardson was considered down with about a 2-yard loss. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5 right now for Keith Price and the Iron, as Perkins out of Mississippi State lines up in the backfield with the Iron quarterback. Trips left. Price tries to sneak one in there, and there's Reeser again, who collected an interception for his 2nd touchdown on the season earlier in this game and almost gets another.
Man, this is going to haunt him again. He dropped a clear interception last week as well, but you mentioned him, Mark. He's looking for another pick 6 right here. Almost looked like, Coach, he started running before he even caught the ball there.
Yeah, he kind of got a little bit ahead of himself there with that.
If I'm Steve Logan, I'm going to tell my quarterback, stop throwing his way. Let's go to the other side of the field.
Well, we said you can't sleep on this Apollo defense. They've done a nice job on 3rd down, done a great job in the red zone this season.
Colton Schmidt with a deep punt. That's Johnson, who picks it up down the left sideline, breaks a tackle, and out near the 28-yard line. 51 yards on the punt. Orlando will take over on offense. When we come back, they lead it 14-0.
I've been a soldier for 3 years. I've scaled the toughest terrain and faced plenty of my fears as part of my training. And for the past 2 years, I've been a Navy Federal member. So even out here, I can pay securely with mobile pay, linked to my free checking account.
I don't know about this.
What did she say?
She said, I don't know about that.
I couldn't hear my helmet.
No, your ears are completely exposed.
Yeah, just...
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
This month, the Alliance is teaming up with the Boys and Girls Club of America to help kids cross the goal line. Terrific program as we're back at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. The Iron down 14-0, 8:53 remaining here in the first half as Garrett Gilbert and the Apollos have pretty much had their way offensively. Of course, Keith Reeser had an interception return for a touchdown, which forced Tim Lewis to make a change at quarterback. So Luis Perez is no longer playing, but Gilbert right now, pretty good numbers as you look at it. 11-13, 129 and a touchdown for the Apollo quarterback.
Yeah, 129 yards passing. Birmingham has only given up 150 coming into this game.
Green 10, green 10.
First and 10. Gilbert. The ball late outside to the intended target, Davion Smith. Beniquez Brown is on the play for Birmingham.
There was a nice shot there earlier of Casey Sales, who's done a nice job thus far for the Birmingham Iron defense all year. Really reminds you of those three forward players that played so well for the Pittsburgh Steelers over time.
Yeah, I played against them when I was with the Cleveland Browns. Aaron Smith was a handful. I think about Brett Kiesel,
Aaron
those
Smith,
kind of
Brett
guys.
Kiesel.
Just
Yes,
really
sir.
good two-gappers. Of course, they had Casey Hayward playing the nose guard. That helped out a lot.
Helped a little bit.
Green 10, green 10.
Second and 10. Gilbert, plenty of time, throws it outside, intended for Rennell Hill. Jamar Summers, and
I know I missed it a little bit outside, Mark, but
that's where you want to miss it, though, right?
That's right. You got to like how the ball comes off his hand, though. You know.
Yeah, he gave his receiver a chance. Just going back to this Iron defense, watching them on film and just kind of seeing their scheme. I mean, they've got the Pittsburgh Steelers written all over them. They call themselves the Iron Curtain, not to be confused with the Steel Curtain, as you know all too well, Marvin. But the scheme and hearing Tim Lewis talk about how they had to implement the game plan and teach everybody how they were going to install this defense was pretty fun.
Third and 10 for Gilbert and the Apollos. He throws back to his wide receiver. Again, this time it's Ishmael Hyman. Bradley Sylvie on the play. That's pick up a 12, and that's going to move the chains.
It's a good look here. You see Sean and Mark. The Iron defense is going to be in a man-to-man coverage situation, and a nice job by Hyman of coming back and beating one-on-one coverage and getting back to the football.
Yeah, you mentioned coming back to the ball, and even though he came back to the ball was a little bit off target, still made a nice play, just kind of contorting his body to protect it.
Green 10, green 10.
First and 10, they keep it on the ground this time. Inside to Davion Smith, who picks up 4 on the play. And that'll bring up second and 6.
There's that guy Casey Sales in there on the tackle. But again, this big, strong Orlando offensive line, that's what Tim Lewis talked about. It's one of the things is their offensive front was so strong, and they're doing a nice job in here today running the football. 4 yards, 5-yard gains on these first down plays keep you ahead of the chains.
I always felt it was so hard to run against that 3-4 defense in between the tackles, but here you can see they're in their nickel defense right now, so it's an even front. It's 4 down linemen.
They keep it on the ground. Smith breaks a tackle out over the 50-yard line. Pickup of 9 on the play. Spearman, the first Iron defender, in on the tackle along with Bradley Sylvie.
How about the center, Jordan McCray, right here, getting up to the second level. Watch him right there. Get up to that second level. It certainly clears it up for the running back when you can get a clean release like that. But I mentioned they're spreading them out right now. They're basically going 3 wide receiver personnel, which brings the Irons base defense of 3-4 defense off the field, and now they're smaller packages out there.
Gilbert fakes the jet sweep, hands it off inside to Smith, who picks up 1 on the play. Jeremy Falk, the defensive tackle, in on the stop. One of the things that Steve Spurrier told us this week was that Tim Lewis defense runs at least 5 coverages. Most of the defenses, he says he sees 2 or 3. He says the concept and the scheme they run in Birmingham is better than anything he's seen in the Alliance so far.
And I know Tim was concerned about Charles Johnson, make sure they had different ways to take him out of the game.
Green 10, green 10.
2nd and 9. Johnson down here at the bottom of your screen to Gilbert's right. Gilbert buying time and finally throws it away out of the pocket. It's over the line of scrimmage. That should not be grounding. It'll bring up 3rd and 9.
Well, Coach, when you look at that play, all right, it was really a 3-man route, but they're flooding the right side. So if you're a quarterback, if you roll to the left, you've got no help.
You got nobody over there. You got to either run and throw it out of bounds like he did.
Yeah, if you're going to scramble, go to the right where your receivers are. He literally had nobody on the left side of the field there.
Yeah, you saw the vertical flood concept, as you said, 3 guys vertically down the field, breaking the ball and then giving him a chance to make a read.
Go.
Ryan Green now in the backfield for Orlando, who has been active all season until today. Gilbert under pressure, hit while he throws. That'll be incomplete. Ryan White, number 22, comes inside and makes the hit on Gilbert. There's the flag.
No explanation for that one. There ain't no explanation for that.
I think Garrett's saying that you're on my Christmas card list for next year. He's going to make sure he gets one.
That was an hour and a half late. Out of there.
He's donning another hat. He's got both his helmet and official's hat. You'd like to throw somebody out of the game, wouldn't you?
Roughing the passer. Defense number 51. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
What I saw from that, though, is the Orlando offense came out in 4 wide receiver set, though. They took the tight end off the field. They got 4 wide receivers again, and again, you see the extra player coming off the pressure, running right through the outside.
And you can see Dixon, who the penalty was called on, gets there first, but it's the extracurricular after the ball's released by Gilbert that gets in the flag.
Yeah, it wasn't the initial hit. It was the fact that he took him down to the ground well after the fact. But, Coach, you mentioned the pressure right there by Ryan White. The running back's got to do a better job picking him up.
1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. A counter play off the pitch inside. Ryan Green picks up about 5 yards.
Well, I'll say this, nothing gets your offensive line more fired up than your quarterback taking an unnecessary shot and then giving somebody a tongue lashing.
Yeah, his quarterback was taking up for himself there, though.
2nd and 5 now for this Orlando team, up 14-0 with about a little over 5 minutes to play here in the first half.
Down. Green 10, green 10.
Pitch, counter, and back to Gilbert, who looks over the middle and finds Johnson on the dig route to about the 10-yard line. A little trickery from the head football coach. Jack Tuckshow makes the play after a 16-yard gain.
All ball coach was setting that one up, Sean.
Yeah, this is a little toss, flea flicker. Look at this. Fakes the play they just ran before, hands it back to him. Don't tell me that Steve Spurrier doesn't want to put a 30-burger up on Tim Lewis right now.
30-burger, huh?
Yeah.
Is that a Jersey thing?
Sure. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. With a fried egg on top all day.
Green 10, green 10.
1st and goal from the 10. Gilbert, the double move up top of the wide receiver, underthrown to Johnson, who had looked to beat the corner. And Jamar Summers in coverage.
Charles Johnson beat him so bad he fell down and was still wide open.
I think he beat him twice. Oh, he had him for a touchdown. If he puts that ball on the back pylon, I mean, if this ball goes there to the back pylon, it's a touchdown.
It's one of the best things Charles Johnson does. He has great body control. We saw him in the first week of the season against the Atlanta Legends make a double move for a touchdown in the right-hand corner of the end zone.
Spurrier saying this week that he's a special receiver with terrific football instincts. Play clock under 3. Second and goal. Gilbert with plenty of time looking to the far pylon, and Jamar Summers and Charles Johnson get in a hand-fighting match, and the ball falls incomplete to bring up third and goal.
We know the NFL teams are paying close attention to these guys, but one of the things will be is the age of some of these players. Charles Johnson a little bit longer, as they say, longer in the tooth. May hurt him a little bit to go again for another opportunity.
Well, great job by Jamar Summers on that play. He read the route. He was in press man coverage up on Charles Johnson. I was looking forward to this matchup. Really two of the best at their position in the Alliance, and he sniffed that route out, Mark. He was all over it.
Green 10, green 10.
Gilbert, third and goal from the 10-yard line. They hand the ball off inside the green. Makes a couple of players miss down inside the 5 before the cavalry arrives. 7 yards on the pickup. And now a decision from Steve Spurrier on fourth and goal.
Nice job trying to think they might catch him and run the draw up in there.
Well, you know, Steve doesn't play by normal rules, so I could see him going for it. But here, you take the points, you make it a 3-score game, right, Coach?
Yes. You know, you mentioned Jamar Summers, and he's at the opposite end of that spectrum. He was just a college free agent in 2018 with the Steelers, so he's earning another opportunity to get to play in the NFL.
So this is Elliott Fry from 21 yards, a perfect 8 for 8 on the season, and that one's down the middle. Put up another 3 for Orlando. The lead at 17-0. Let's take a listen into the old head football coach, Steve Spurrier.
All right, we're here to play all day, every play the best we can. Let's do it, every play the best we can. That's how you throw the ball around, and just get out of the way. Just get out of the way when you can't make a hard catch. Just get out of the way. I mean, you can't keep calling these penalties that nobody sees. Okay. Go Rennell, go Rennell. There he is. Okay.
Oh, that's great.
73 years old, back surgery most recently. He's having a ball out there over
the HBC head ball coach.
I love he told Ernest Johnson, just get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
Stop trying to catch the punt.
So Birmingham still looking to get on the board. We've got about 3:29 remaining here in the first half. Quarterback Keith Price pitches the ball to Brandon Ross over the left side to pick up about 3 on the play. By the way, Ross last week had a great game, averaged over 7 yards a carry, 9 carries for 64, but had that critical fumble late in the game, which kind of sealed it for San Antonio.
Yeah, it really went against how the success of the Iron of taking care of the football and playing great defense in their loss last week.
2nd and 8 for Price out of the shotgun. The crossing route wide open. LaDamian Washington out over the line to gain. Picks up 10 yards on the play, and that'll move the chains.
Well, you can see nice job right here on the little crossing route. LaDamian Washington, he's a big target, 6'4". You know, when we talked to Luis Perez, he said, I really like his catch radius. But for the Missouri Tiger, he's showing some wheels right there.
Yeah, they really have a diverse group of receivers, the Iron, you know, with some smaller, quicker guys and these big radius guys.
1st and 10 for Price. Finds the seam route wide open. That's Wes Saxton, the tight end who led the team a week ago with 3 catches for 54 yards. 22 on the game. Reeser with a tackle.
Takes us to the 2-minute warning. My man was continuing to try to get out of bounds. Just go vertically.
You see him run right up the seam right there, and it looked like he passed him. Will Hill just passed him to nobody. Just let him run right down the middle of the field.
Finally, Price now, the second quarterback of the day for for Birmingham, has the Iron on the move. Looking to score for the first time in this half. Orlando leads at 17-0.
Have a seat.
Okay, where's the food? What kind of meeting is this?
There's no food. We just said that so you would show up.
What? No food?
There's someone we think you should talk to.
Hey, Dan, your coworkers told me you haven't done your taxes. I just want to say, you can call a TurboTax Live CPA for help. We'll help you get your refund and get back to your life.
You'd really do that for me?
Yeah, Dan. It's literally my job.
Thanks, guys.
So there's no snacks, nothing?
I brought kale.
TurboTax Live, now with CPAs on demand.
When you rent a car on Turo, you're renting from a real person. No shuttle rides, no waiting in line, and no wandering a car lot. This is better than your typical car rental. This is Turo. Download the app today.
Welcome back, everybody. Stay tuned for the Alliance All Access halftime report with Alex Flanagan, Ron Woodson, Kevin Carter, and Cynthia Freeland. We'll have the Glenn Robinson feature, and of course, they'll preview the afternoon game between Salt Lake and San Diego. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Birmingham yet to get on the board, but they've got a little something going. Keith Price, who has relieved Luis Perez at the quarterback position, has them on the move. 2 timeouts remaining for Birmingham, who will face 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. Perkins in the backfield. Price out of the shotgun. He'll break it past the 30 and take it down to about the 25-yard line. A pickup of 11 on the play for Will Hill forces him out.
Again, nice job there by Keith Price. Nobody open. He runs out, moves his chains.
You're going to see the receiver right there, Coach. He just kind of clears out, and there's nobody at home. There's nobody there defensively. You can see Will Hill lost track of the football, and he just kind of sneaks out the side door. Good heads-up play.
Orlando was in man-to-man defense, so they're chasing receivers. Everybody's got their back turned.
Darius Perkins in the backfield now as Price works from under center, and the play-action bootleg. Nice job. Price steps up in the pocket, looks for his tight end, and misses Saxton, who was wide open for a potential touchdown.
So, Mark and Sean, my first thinking is, why are you running a play action at this point when it's underneath 2 minutes? Because you know you're getting vertical pass rush, but they did have the little Y sneak play on.
Yeah.
If you see where he's going to block, and sneak back down the backside.
Oh, man, he had Wes Saxton wide open. I mean, all he had to do, Mark, you're a former quarterback, just put a little more air on that ball, let him locate it, and it's a touchdown. And
Saxton, 6'4", 235 pounds, although an athletic guy, he's not a wide receiver and probably not able to adjust quite as well as some of the wide receivers on the field. So it's 2nd and 10 now, play clock down to 1. Price from the shotgun throws a laser inside to number 17, LaDainian Washington, who takes it down about 21 yards on the play before Will Hill makes the play.
Boy, that's an impressive throw there.
You see him come right in here in the middle of the field. Tell you, Price is going to take a big hit right there. Looks like Will Hill kind of slipped as he was trying to close on the break.
Roughing the passer, defense number 59. That penalty will be declined. The result of the play, the first down.
I know as we've talked to some of the head coaches the last couple of weeks, their quarterbacks have been getting hit. And I think the officials today are trying to clean that up a little bit.
Yeah, they clamp it down on it a little bit. I'll say this, anytime you lead with your forearm or your elbow like that, you're probably going to get called.
You're going to get called, yeah. The defenders should know better.
But in O'Kine's defense, he is 6'7", so when he comes after the quarterback.
So Trent Richardson has checked into the ball game, lines up in the deep I formation. Hand it off, and just like that, he walks into the end zone. His 8th rushing touchdown of the season, and Birmingham's on the board.
Birmingham shows why they're leading the Alliance in red zone offense.
Going to get a couple of double teams inside here. Looks like the right guard and right tackle is going to power that 3 technique back in the end zone. You know, one saying you had as an offensive lineman, if you put your guys' feet in the end zone, you're going to score. They did a good job right there on that double team, and like clockwork, Trent in the end zone.
The Iron, I was going to say, the Iron still have yet to have a passing touchdown, though.
Price, by the way, 5 of 7 for 76 yards after relieving Perez. The two-point conversion out of the shotgun, throws it to the right side, takes a hit. Is the ball caught? Yes, it is. That's Patton who goes down and gets it, covered by Marquez White. So now they find themselves not only with a touchdown, the two-point conversion, and trail by 9 points with 1:32 remaining here in the half.
My goodness, look at this hit right here by Garvin. I mean, Trent Richardson's got to block him. That's his man. Trent Richardson tried to release. And look at this catch right here. Wow.
Nice job. Great throw by Keith Price, putting the receiver ball right on the receiver's numbers there for a chance to go down and get it.
Always taught as a quarterback, when that defensive back's helmet is turned away from you, that guy's open. He might look like he's plastered, but that guy's open. Go ahead and throw it. He does it, and a great job by Patton to get them within 9.
That doesn't count as a touchdown pass, though, right,
No
Marv? So they
touchdown
still don't
pass.
have one yet?
We're still out.
But they got momentum.
They have momentum.
Green 10, green 10.
So Orlando takes over to 25. Gilbert out of the shotgun. Throwback screen to number 22, Dearness Johnson. Breaks a couple of tackles out past the 40 and down to about the 44-yard line. A pickup of 19 on the play.
You know, they showed a good shot of Coach Rick Minner, the defense coordinator for the Iron there. This is such a critical drive here to stop Orlando here and go into halftime with the momentum. They got to make a big stop here.
You know, anytime you're running this kind of offense, you're thinking draw or screen. I like the fact that they rolled out to the right and threw the screen back to the left.
Gilbert out of the play action on 1st and 10. Buys time and throws the ball incomplete. That one intended for Rennell Hall.
Mark, these quarterbacks are earning their paycheck today. They're taking some hits.
Gilbert got hit a ton last week. I mean, he got leveled at least a half a dozen or more times. We saw already the roughing the passer penalty earlier called on Birmingham as Gilbert was thrown to the ground. That time he takes a shot.
Yeah, one on both sides so
Mark,
far.
you know, as a quarterback, you break contain like that, you get out of the pocket, you better make a quick decision. Either throw the ball away or you're going to end up taking a big lick.
Down.
Brings up 2nd and 10. Gilbert out to the outside.
Boy, that's a nice play there by Devontae Dye, getting the ball out of bounds, stopping the clock, saving a timeout here.
Yeah, really heads-up play. For Orlando, you've got 3 timeouts. So really, I mean, they have every play at their disposal right now on Coach Spurrier's big menu call sheet.
That's right. On that big call sheet, Coach got it all.
He's just saying, take care of the ball right now, okay?
No, Coach wants points.
Yeah, but don't give it to him.
Green 10, green 10. Set up.
3rd and 2. Gilbert hands the football off inside to Johnson, who breaks a tackle out to the right side, to the 30, the 25, inside the 20. He gets out at about the 18-yard line. It's Aaron Adeoye who comes up with the tackle. A gain of 36 on the play.
Looks like Ryan White, number 22, is going to come in on the tackle. And I think these defenders collide. They hit him at the same time.
An injured player doing the play. For under 2 minutes, they will be charged the first time out of the half.
Man.
Well, really, again, number 22, Ryan White, the nickel player, you got to come in and make that tackle. And that's the key part of his job, not only coverage, but he also being a tackler when you play in that nickel position like that. And that's a big play to let get outside and out down the boundary.
Sounds easy and sounds simple, but just come in and wrap up.
Wrap up.
That's
Use
all
your
you
arms.
got to do.
Tackle
Don't try
with
to
your arms.
deliver that knockout blow.
There's Coach Minner there, who's done a great job with this defense all season, but this is critical here. We want to try to keep, if we could, keep points off the board here. Now they obviously are in the makeable field goal range already.
Elliott Fry, who is perfect on the season, the field goal kicker, 9 for 9. Has a long 47 yards on the season. That's well within his field goal range.
Out for equipment malfunction.
That's a new one there. We haven't heard that one yet. But again, with 39 seconds, 3 timeouts, Orlando has everything. They can run it and throw it here. You know, they really have an opportunity to use the entire play sheet here. Really puts a lot of pressure on the Iron defense.
Well, we talked about this in the open. #1 offense, #1 defense. I'm just really impressed with Orlando's offense, how they've been able to kind of march up and down the field at will. I mean, they almost have 300 yards of offense in the first half alone. And when you see what Birmingham has done to so many offenses, got them out of rhythm, got them off the field on 3rd down, they just haven't had an answer today for Steve Spurrier and Garrett Gilbert.
Yeah, they've only been giving up prior games 250 yards a game, and Orlando's already surpassed that in the first half.
287 total yards on the day so far by Orlando. In fact, they've rushed the ball 105 yards already in the first half, as Birmingham has managed to accumulate just 113 yards of total offense in the first half.
Well, they had the missed opportunity on the muff punt, and they don't get points there. And again, their 3rd down, the interception.
All right, while they tend to the wardrobe malfunction,
the equipment,
we'll step away. We're back right after this. Welcome back to Legion Field. Garrett Gilbert, 15 completions to 8 different receivers today. Numbers are good. 15 to 23, 182 yards, and a touchdown. And knocking on the door again. Under a minute to play. 39 seconds in the first half. Got the wardrobe malfunction squared away, and Steve Spurrier's had a couple of extra minutes to think about this play on 1st and 10.
Look out.
Down. Get through. Green 10, green 10. Set up.
Gilbert dumps it down underneath to Johnson, who again breaking tackles, takes it past the line to gain, a pickup of about 11 yards before defensive lineman Jeremy Falk brings him down.
Dearness Johnson has been the difference thus far in this game, is his ability to break tackles and make yards after contact. Another big play here.
Man, they cannot tackle Dearness Johnson. First guy there.
Orlando.
You know, Coach, when you're telling defensive players, hey, look, if you're the first guy there, stand him up, let somebody else come in and help you out. And he's just breaking through these arm tackles. Looks like we've got another player down. And for the Iron, it looks like Joe Powell, like he took a little friendly fire shot from one of his defensive linemen that was peeling back to help out on the tackle.
Yeah, the war of attrition is affecting this Iron football team now on both sides.
You mentioned Dearness Johnson. Interesting, 13 carries for 79 yards and a touchdown in his first start against Memphis. He was the Bulls' all-time, all-purpose yards player for South Florida and continued to call David Reeves, his former offensive coordinator, now the running backs coach, found a way on this roster and has earned the starting job. First and goal now.
Dallas Yankees. Green 10, green 10.
For Garrett Gilbert, the draw play inside, caught in the backfield that time by number 53, Devin Taylor, the 6'8" linebacker out of Beaufort, South Carolina.
Starts timeout, Orlando, 30 seconds.
We heard him audible to this play earlier on in the game. I think it worked better the last time, but just a really nice tackle in space right there. You can see 53 shedding the block.
Devin Taylor's great length and extension, you know, one of those big guys that you can't coach that length, Sean.
Oh, 6'8". Yeah, 4th round pick by the Detroit Lions in 2013.
That length has gotten him in trouble before, though. I mean, if you go back to that game in 2015 when it looked like they had beaten the Packers when he was with the Lions, the face mask, Aaron Rodgers, that set up the Hail Mary. They ultimately won.
Oh, boy.
Aaron Rodgers beat a lot of people like that.
Yes, he has. 2nd and goal. Under 20 seconds, Gilbert flushed out of the pocket, throws it to the left side. Well, Hill with the ball. Hall with the ball, excuse me. Jamar Summers there on the tackle. Inside 20 seconds down. The clock stops at 13. 7 yards on the pickup.
Final time of the half. Orlando.
That was a dangerous throw right there, Coach. A little bit late.
A little late outside. That's not what you want to have.
Yeah, and high. So now, all right, they've got no timeouts left. You got 3rd and goals, 13 seconds. Coach, I think you take a shot at a little fade route in the back of the end zone. Make sure you get the ball out of bounds if you're going to miss, so they stop the clock so you can still get a field goal, right? What do you like here, slant or fade?
I think we're going to get a little double move to Charles Johnson.
Oh, you like the double move? Yeah.
I like the double move to Charles Johnson.
I don't blame him
like
going to Charles Johnson.
Us or nobody.
It was tried earlier in this football game. Charles Johnson beat his coverage so badly the ball was underthrown by Garrett Gilbert.
Well, you can see right up here. All right, there's Charles Johnson with Jamar Summers, it looks like.
Green 10, green 10.
Gilbert inside, plenty of time, and finally wrapped up by number 58.
Wow.
That's Aaron Adeoye. And Gilbert finally gets rid of it. Man, that's
Coach,
that's
what's the one thing you tell your quarterback in this situation?
Don't get trapped with the football or throw an interception.
Yeah, you can't take a sack.
Don't take a sack.
And you can't throw an interception, and he almost did both.
He almost did both on the same play.
So it looked like the iron went to a zone defense.
Right.
I circled Jamar Summers. He did not play man on Charles Johnson. They actually took him away with the 2 inside defenders, and really Gilbert had nowhere to go with the ball.
It was exactly the same play as the 2-point play they scored on earlier.
Fry, who was good earlier from 21, good this time from 22 yards to make it 10 for 10 on the season. And Orlando manages to score again before the half, 20-8 right now, and that's going to be the halftime break. So we're going to step outside. The score right now, 28. Following the break, we'll take you out to TNT Studios for the Alliance All Access Halftime Report with Alex Flanagan, Ron Woodson, Kevin Carter, and Cynthia Freeland. We'll see you back for the second half. You're watching the Alliance of American Football on TNT. Everybody, welcome back after first half of play. The Orlando Apollos have put up nearly 300 yards in the first half and lead this thing 20-8. Mark Malone along with my friend Marvin Lewis and, of course, Sean O'Hare, a quarterback change for the Iron. Your thoughts after the first half? I'll start with you, Sean.
Yeah, the early hook for Luis Perez, but really for me the surprise is this Birmingham defense. Giving up 33 points in the entire season coming into this game, already giving up 20 points. That's a shocker for me.
Really a big decision by Coach Tim Lewis to bring in Keith Price here at this point. He's 5 of 7 in that second quarter and the remaining part of the first that he had, and did a great job moving him down for a touchdown score. So they come out, they got the ball in this third quarter. Let's see what happens.
Let's take a look at some of the first half statistics, if you will. I mentioned nearly 300 yards, 286 for the Apollos, nearly 200 yards passing, and of course they've run the ball more than Orlando with 88 yards. And, of course, the first half stats are brought to you by the Air National Guard. Takeaways, 1. That was costly for Orlando as they will take over here with the first snap of the second half. And Keith Price is back in at quarterback here in the second half, wondering what decision, in fact, Tim Lewis may or may not make. He's going to stay with Price after they managed to get on the board late in the first half. Price in the bootleg, throws the football down the field. There's a flag on the play, misses his receiver, LaDamian Washington. Josh Evans in coverage. Price seems to think it's on the Apollos.
Well, they grabbed the running back as he's coming through. Actually, the tight end, number 83 there, Wes Sexton, gets grabbed by the defenders. He tries to release to the flat.
So take another look at it. In fact, here's a closer look, guys.
Yeah, you're going to see Price right here roll out. He's actually got 2 receivers open on this, and maybe this is what they had in mind with Price taking over. He's got the tight end in the flat, and he goes for the intermediate route, overthrows him, but gets bailed out by the penalty flag.
Got to be able to hit Washington there, right? Rolling to your right-handed quarterback, guy's wide open, crossing.
You got to look excited, Mark. You know how that goes, Mark. You got to look excited.
All right, so after the penalty from the 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Price has the ball swiped at almost out of his hands and then brought down for a loss by Earl O'Kine. That's a loss of 5 yards, and it'll bring up 2nd and 15.
Price is acting as though there was a little miscommunication somewhere up front there, Sean.
Yeah, initial pressure over the left guard kind of flushed him out of the pocket, and O'Kine just swallowed him up. Sometimes when you make that quarterback change, if the first read isn't there, sometimes he can kind of get that deer in headlights in the pocket and look like he had nowhere to go with the ball there.
Kid O'Brien, who had been evaluated in the first half, the center, is back in at center, although they have lost the right guard, Corin Curvin. Price dumps the ball underneath to Trent Richardson, who hunts down one of the defensive backs. Number 26, Josh Evans, gets punished, a 9-yard pickup.
You got to love that by Trent Richardson there now.
Look, I mean, check down, right, Coach? Look, there's 2 defenders right there. They've got that little triangle that you talk about.
Give him a little juke. Give him a little juke. Give him a little something. Put it up the field.
You can see the physical traits that would make him the 3rd overall pick in the draft of 2013. And he definitely runs with a lot of power, but he's got a little shake and bake in there too.
Yeah, we talked to Steve Logan, the offensive coordinator. He said he's in shape. He's 226 pounds as Price, under pressure, moves to the right, back to his left, looks to the line to get, and is pushed out of bounds by Josh Banks, just short of the first down.
Yeah, Marky, what you said by Coach Logan talked about Trent being in shape again. And that's a big part of it, is being able to get your body back in the condition to make people miss like that. We know he's a big, powerful man.
Covered him a lot in the National Football League, Marvin, and obviously had a great career at Alabama, but one of the things that it always looked like he was a little slow to the hole. That looked like a different Trent Richardson on that play.
Yeah, he really did. He did a nice job juking and getting his shoulders pointed back upfield towards the goal line.
Here we get a shot of Steve Logan, the offensive coordinator. He's trying to get the play in. It seems like they're having a communication issue.
So they'll talk it over with 4th and 1. We'll step aside. Birmingham will have a ball and the decision when we come back.
I'm looking for a lamp I'll love. One that can really, light up a room. There, I found the perfect lamp and shade at the perfect price. Here, at home, where you'll find every style with the biggest selection at the best prices.
All right, welcome back. They've had an opportunity to talk this over, burning a timeout at 4th and 1. Keith Price, who has taken over for Luis Perez, has had an opportunity to discuss this with the offensive coordinator Steve Logan, the head coach Tim Lewis. And
Mark, did you know that Sean got here today by Wheels Up? Did you know that?
Wheels Up?
Yes.
The price must have been right.
The price is right.
Yeah, there you go.
I could have used the assist. I had my thumb out. I was ready.
That's the way he got here today.
Tim Lewis.
Kenny Dechter, if you're listening, man, feel free. My boy Lawrence Tynes. Lawrence Tynes was obviously kicked Giants to the Super Bowl. He works for Wheels Up too, so maybe he could help us out.
So think about this. This is a big decision for Tim Lewis and Steve Logan now. Down 20-8, 4th and 1. I mean, you need to pick this up. You can't allow the Orlando Apollos to get the ball back in great field position here.
Well, they do. You want to win a football game, you got to go win the game, and this is their opportunity here. Guy I like, though.
So they might be looking at this spot here because it looked like Price, as he went out of bounds, looked like he tried to extend the ball a little bit. I mean, I don't know why he put the ball in his left hand, Coach.
Yeah,
he had the ball in the right hand.
Recharge the first time out of the half, and we'll have 1 challenge remaining for the game. 4th down.
Yeah. So they challenged the call, is what we're being told there. They've got 1 left. They lose the timeout in that situation, and I agree with you. Although that is not an official line, he had the ball in his left hand. He didn't cross the line to get.
Yeah.
And you burn a timeout trying to get a first down here.
And now if they go for it on 4th down, they're 0 for 2 on the season on 4th down. Can't imagine them not giving the ball to Trent Richardson here.
Yeah, and Coach Bob Sanders' defense understands that same principle there.
Oh, we've got a little movement on the line of scrimmage. Looked to me like Josh Banks jumped the defensive lineman. Was he enticed by the offensive lineman is the question.
I think we got the encroachment on the defense there. Again, nice job of coaching there.
Neutral zone infraction. defense, number 92, causing the offense
nice
to
job
react.
of coaching on one side.
5-yard penalty.
Yeah.
The other side,
They got him on the hard count,
Got
and
him
it's a
on
good
the
thing they
hard
did because, boy.
There's a lot of folks in that tackle box, wasn't there?
Reggie Northrup shot right through the A-gap unblocked, so if they hadn't gotten that penalty, that would have been a tackle for a loss.
It's a big call, a big conversion. As Keith Price now will go back to work. The ball just at about the 44-yard line. Two receivers right. Trent Richardson in the backfield with Price. Price over the middle and finds his tight end. That's Sexton with a catch to pick up a 17 against Will Hill, the safety for the Apollos.
Wow, so they got him on the hard count the play before. Now they go quick count, and they caught the defense not ready. You can see they're not really set. This is a heck of a throw, Coach.
Keith Price really rotating his hips, getting the ball thrown with great velocity down the middle of the field, putting it on his receiver.
Again, if you're just joining us, Price was inserted into this game after Luis Perez threw an interception early. The starting quarterback, he was yanked. Price gets him on the board before the half, and now is scrambling on 1st and 10 and just throws it away.
You know, on the first down play prior to this one, you really like how the decision-making of Keith Price, how quickly he made a decision to throw the football. He's gone through it, and he's done a nice job throwing an accurate throw there.
When you get a guy as a backup like this, do you want to run some play actions where you can cut the field in half and have him go 1-2, run the football? Is it easier for that guy?
Well, I think they're trying to use his athleticism a little bit, Mark, and yeah, that plays right into it, and the decisiveness of him in making those decisions to release the football and where to throw it.
Certainly on first down, that helps out a lot.
2nd and 10, they hand the ball off inside. Brandon Ross breaks a tackle, and then finally, a couple of defenders come in to stop it for a 6-yard gain. Terrence Garvin, one of those defenders.
Yeah, they got the big guys up front. You know, they get him with the delayed draw, getting him up the field. He does a nice job inside, making the first man miss, and then getting the ball. Makes it a 3rd down and 4, which is, again, a manageable situation here. And we may be in 4-down territory here. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, there you see Reggie Northrup. He looked like he had a shot at making a big tackle, and he just couldn't find a way to get him down. But 3rd and 4, I'm with you, Coach. They definitely are in 2-down territory.
Brandon Ross in the backfield, along with the quarterback Price. He tries to slip away from an intended tackle, but Jarrell Worthy gets a hand on Price and drops him for about a 5-yard loss on the play.
Oh, boy. Mark, you ever been pushed off a cliff? Watch the left guard right here just get a straight bull rush, and he just cannot anchor. I mean, he just gets walked right back into the quarterback. That's your worst nightmare right there.
What size roller skates was he wearing? That's what I want to know.
Oh, my goodness.
Jarrell Worthy is a big, powerful man. This was a very productive player at Michigan State. Came in the National Football League, had opportunity there, and really is trying to earn another opportunity to get back there.
A 2nd-round pick by the Packers back in 2012 as Colton Schmidt, the master of pinning people inside the 20, does exactly that as Ernest Johnson catches it around the 10-yard line. So, Orlando will have the ball back, leading 20-8 when we come back. That app, by the way, is #1 at both the Google and Apple stores. And if you download it now, all sorts of Easter eggs hidden inside. So see what you can find and enjoy. 10:46 here in the 3rd quarter. Orlando up 20-8. And Garrett Gilbert, who had a terrific first half, 17 of 26 for $198 and a touchdown, will take over for Steve Spurrier. D'Ernest Johnson in the backfield.
Green 10, green 10.
Garrett, plenty of time, looks down the field and finds his #1 target, Charles Johnson, who last week had 9 catches for a $105. Ike Spearman with a tackle. Pickup of 18 on the play.
Really a good job again by the quarterback and the receiver. Great timing on the throw, putting the ball up where the big man can go up and make a play.
We saw this exact same offense last week against Salt Lake. They came out in the second half. They ran the exact same route. He's just basically sitting down right in the zone coverage.
Green 10, green 10.
From the 29 on 1st and 10, they hand it off inside to Johnson. A pickup of about 3 yards on the play. Beniquez Brown, the first Iron defender on the play.
Yeah, this Birmingham Iron defense we know has to tackle better in this second half in order to stop this Orlando offense running game and get back in this football game by giving the ball back to their own offense.
Yeah, that's not an easy play for a linebacker right there. That's that run-pass option. So you're trying to find out who's got the football, and then once you realize the running back's got it, he's already downhill on you. And Beniquez Brown did a nice job with that tackle.
Down.
The voice of Sean O'Hare along with Marvin Lewis. I'm
Green
Mark
10,
Malone.
green
2nd
10.
and 7 for Gilbert. Second, third progression. Finally scrambles out to the right side and throws a dart to Charles Johnson. Joe Powell, the strong safety in the area, can't make the play. They pick up 15 on it.
Sean, as we see this one unfold, we see the quarterback and a great improvisation by Charles Johnson, number 12, who works back away as he sees his quarterback scramble. He puts the old scramble drill in effect.
I mean, you can only cover for so long, Coach, and Gilbert did a nice job of buying some time in the pocket, but you got to give credit to the offensive line for giving him a pocket. Running back helped out on the pass pro right there, but you can't cover Charles Johnson for that long.
Offensive line, by the way, have allowed only 7 sacks, which is the best in the Alliance this year coming into this football game as Gilbert finally goes down underneath Johnson, who can't hold on. And that'll bring up 3rd and 10.
All right, Coach is staying aggressive right now, but if I'm in that huddle, I'm questioning why we are throwing the ball on 1st and 2nd down with a lead. We've got a pretty good run game and a pretty good running back. Can we not pound the rock here a little bit?
Well, it's second and long, Coach. Second and long. Coach's going to try to pick a couple up here. I would expect him to hand this one off, try to pick some off.
Yeah, to the right, to the right.
They work out of the shotgun.
They got it. Down.
8:41 to play.
Green 10, green 10.
3.
Stand.
The blitz. Gilbert rolls right, gets the ball out to Johnson, but a terrific play that time by the defensive back, Bradley Sylvie.
Hey, that's a nickel from the
Yeah, you could hear him say they brought the nickel off the slot. What does that mean? Well, the slot corner, you're going to see right here, right? Watch this defender creep in right here, right? He's telling his running back, hey, you got to block that guy. That's the slot defender. You're allowed to blitz him as long as he's 2 yards from the end man on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, but I think in the protection, he had put DeErnest over on the right-hand side, and so they needed to probably slide out the other way.
Yeah. Somebody's getting an MA.
Green 10, green 10.
3 of 7 on the day. On 3rd down conversions for Orlando as Gilbert works back inside to Johnson, who catches it and lurches forward. Did he get enough? Bradley Sylvie on the play, and it looks like they're going to mark him just short of pickup of 9.
You know, this was one of the things that when we talked to Garrett Gilbert, he talked about the ability of Charles Johnson to always fall forward once he catches the football, and how Coach Sprayer had even pointed it out in practice to the other players.
Yeah, he said, do that. You know, don't go run backwards to try to gain 10 yards. Just get those little 30 yards.
Down. Green 10, green 10.
They'll go for it. Somebody jumped.
Now, the key here will be whether or not that the Birmingham Iron crossed in the neutral zone.
They're trying to beat them at their own game, right? They just did that to them.
I
It's
think
good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
Was it Nick James who jumped? It's a big body in that neutral zone, 6'4", 315.
I think Birmingham lined up far enough off the ball that they didn't break that plane. That'll be what the discussion is here.
False start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Well, I think that's going to change coach's thinking here a little bit.
Think?
Yeah, you can see his disgust.
Oh, yeah, he's not happy about that.
No, he doesn't like to give the ball up. He likes to keep the football.
Well, they called it on Andrew Tiller, the left guard.
He was the one who reached out after the finish.
Yeah, he was pointing. I didn't see him move.
So that'll bring on Ben Turk. That name is familiar. His uncle, Matt Turk, spent 19 years in the National Football League. His uncle, Dan Turk, played with me in Pittsburgh. Been around for a long time and pins the intended wide receiver back inside the 10. That ball goes into the end zone. And Birmingham will have the ball 1st and 10 from the 25, down 20-8. When we come back, you're watching The Alliance on TNT.
That makes sense. So if I bought it for a business I started, I'm able to deduct it?
Yes. That's definitely a deductible expense.
That was really helpful. Man, I love technology, but it is infinitely better with people. Sometimes you just need that real human touch, you know? A little bit of empathy and understanding. Like I was saying, humans and technology working together.
You talk too much.
TurboTax Live, now with CPAs on demand. Here's the thing. 52% of guys experience erectile dysfunction, but 0% like talking about it. That's why we built Roman. For the first time ever, you can get ED meds prescribed online, shipped discreetly to your door. Chat online with U.S. licensed physicians. And get FDA-approved medication, all in single-dose packaging. No more waiting rooms, awkward talks, or lines at the pharmacy. Get started with your free online visit at GetRoman.com/TV.
Welcome back, everybody. Skycam brought to you today by Wheels Up. Mark Malone along with Marvin Lewis and Sean O'Hara's Orlando leads this 20-8 with 7:25 remaining here in the third. And the Iron will take over here with Keith Price at quarterback, replaced Luis Perez in the first half. Managed to get the Iron on the board. And a big drive now for Birmingham. Out of the shotgun, Price flush from the pocket, throws the ball back over the middle, finds his tight end again. That's Saxton across the 35-yard line before Marquez White manages to get him to the ground. A pickup of 35 yards.
Really a good job here by quarterback Keith Price. You see Gerald Worthy again, number 91, applying the pressure from the left side of your screen and moving out of the pocket, tight end improvising, getting himself open.
Just a little backyard football right there.
Saxton, by the way, spent some time with the Jets, the Redskins, the Bills, Detroit, San Francisco. Signed after week 2. He's had a right ankle injury, but big so far this afternoon. As Price gets the ball outside of the near side to his wide receiver, Patton White drags him down for a 9-yard gain.
Right now, the price is right, Sean.
Oh, there you go. I was waiting for it to come back. You know, Coach, I mean, you were talking before about this being an opportunity league. I think that's probably one of the most fun things about watching this alliance is you've got guys that have come into this league from all different angles and different stories. And here's a guy, Keith Price. Now he's built another chapter to his.
Tight formation. Richardson works over the right side, runs head on into Reggie Northwood the third. It's like a pickup of about 5 yards on the play.
I'll tell you what, when you hand the ball off to Trent Richardson, you know one thing. He is going to run downhill, and he doesn't care who he runs into. He can run into his own guy. He can run into you. He is just going to bring some power right there. I mean,
somebody's going to get hit.
I'd come back to the huddle and say, hey, Trent, feel free to cut off the block. You don't have to run right into the guy that I'm blocking.
Steve Logan, the offensive coordinator, says, we know we have different kinds of running backs. We have to run different kinds of plays, and Trent Richardson's clearly a downhill guy. As Price scrambles to get out of the pocket to the left side and drug down for about a yard gain. Terrence Garvin there first for the Apollos.
One of the things, Mark, and you would know this more than either one of us, but once you make the decision as the quarterback to pull the ball down, you want to go up the field. You know, you don't want to get trapped in the pocket still. Go up the field and don't take an extra shot.
Well, as much as we were talking about the Birmingham Irons defense, the Orlando Apollos defense has been really good, except on third down. This is an area where they've really struggled, and it's because of the mobile quarterbacks. This is second and long, but I know Bob Sanders is telling them, hey, keep him in the pocket. Don't let him get outside where he can hurt us.
Price sees the blitz, manages to get out to the left, throws the football away. He had LaDamian Washington in the area, but overthrows his intended wide receiver.
Yeah, the Apollos come with a little 5-man pressure, and they're able to get pressure off the offensive right side there, bringing the left side of their defensive team. Bringing 5 men and able to get pressure and flush the quarterback again. Brings us into another third down situation.
Yeah, it looked like right guard Michael Dunn was giving up some pressure there on the blitz. And, this offensive line has had so much change, and it's hard when you get into these known passing situations to pass off the twists and the blitz when you're not used to working with the guy next to you.
Brandon Ross in the game in the backfield with Price. 2 wide receivers to the right. Avoids pressure, gets out of the pocket to the right side, and finds a wide open wide receiver. That's the running back, Brandon Ross. Touchdown Iron.
All right, Brandon Ross. I mean, he's one-on-one with a linebacker. And, Coach, this is what I'm talking about. He's going to run right here and then cut it back across the field. And when your quarterback can buy time like this, look at the linebacker. I mean, Winthrop, he slips. Now all of a sudden he's wide open.
They're in a pressure there, looking like a zone pressure where the left side guy that's responsible for number 2 on the left side or too weak, he's got to slide across the field with that offensive player. The defender stayed backside.
So a big decision by Tim Lewis to replace Luis Perez, and Keith Price now has gone 10 of 14 for 180 yards. Throws his first touchdown in the Alliance to get it within a 6-point game. 4:27 remaining here in the third.
Birmingham has a throwing touchdown.
Yes, it's the first of the year.
First of the year.
I mean, this is the spark that you were talking about, that you hope that when you make the move that something happens.
You're hoping and praying as the head coach when you make the move.
Just the way that he drew it up, right? Just the way Steve Logan said, hey, here's how I'm putting in.
2-point conversion with Darius Perkins in the backfield, and Price looks for Patton in the back of the end zone and overthrows his intended wide receiver. Reggie Northrup was in the same zip code.
Yeah, Price is acting as though Reggie did something wrong there. He's wide open. He's got to put a ball on him here now. Let's be honest with this now. Let's put the ball on him.
Maybe put a little mustard on that one. Gave him the heater.
Yeah, he tried to throw it.
As a former defensive coordinator, though, and a head coach, I mean, it's funny when a quarterback breaks out of the pocket, your entire game plan that you spent 100 hours, you throw it out the window, right?
Exactly right. You have to understand you're playing a different game right now. Bob Sanders and his Apollo defense, they're defending a different animal than in Luis Perez, who started the game. We saw Luis Perez break the pocket early, and they ran him right down. This is a different guy now.
So now this Orlando offense will face a Birmingham team within 6 points. We need this Iron defense to step up as they fake the reverse. That's Davion Smith to the right side, and finally still on his feet to the 40 and out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. Sylvie rides him out of bounds, pick up of 40 yards on the play.
I love the double reverse right here. Down block right there, and the bright guard's going to sneak out. Trey Jackson, watch him lead this play as he fakes the reverse right there. And look at this. He's got 2 big elephants right in front.
We got these mics here in the Alliance, and one of the great things here in the Orlando offensive players yell reverse to get the Birmingham Iron to flow the other way.
Trying to fool him.
So big play, and they keep it on the ground. Smith with the carry to the right side inside the 30-yard line.
Give him a breather.
Pickup of 7 on the play.
Yep. The stable of running backs by this Orlando team. Dearness Johnson, who we've seen had big runs early in the game. Devon Smith now lately. Akeem Hunt, who began the season that way, who's inactive today. So we got a group of guys that really play, and we'll see Ryan Green a little later.
I like the way that Orlando's running the football, though, Coach. They're not bringing in their tight end and fullback, jamming everybody in there. They're kind of spreading them out, and you can see it's making some running room.
138 yards rushing on the day for Orlando with about 3 minutes to play here in the third. They keep it on the ground inside to Smith, who picks up about 2 yards before Beniquez Brown gets a hold of him.
Yeah, you see again, quarterback Garrett Gilbert again audible at the line of scrimmage. Those have probably been their 3 least effective runs today. It's been the 3 times he's changed the play up there.
So big third down now for this Birmingham defense, who we touted as being the best in the Alliance at the top of the show.
Green 10.
Watch the running back in the flat here.
Gilbert looks to the right, pulls the ball down, buys some time, and finally brought to the ground. That's Ike Spearman, the linebacker, who comes from the backside, about a 9-yard loss on the play.
Sean, you really called it there. You said watch the back to the flat.
Yeah, he's got to try to release right here. Look at him getting jammed up, right, Coach?
Yeah, you got to see there, number 4. That's Xavier comes through, and he jams him on the outside. The outside rusher is able to get him held up till the coverage gets there, which takes Garrett off his first read.
Yeah, Birmingham knew it. You could see the linebacker scrape to the outside. And again, he did this earlier in the game. Garrett Gilbert, it's a 3-man route to the right side. You've got nobody on the left side. If you run over there, you're on an island.
There's a flag on the play as our referee, James Carter, is talking to somebody in his earpiece. Spurrier lobbying, as you would expect.
Yeah, he can't rush.
You think it may be illegal defense here?
I think that's probably what the call is there.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, illegal defense, number 57. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
So I really think it's a mental error here by the defensive player. It's not anything designed. And once the inside linebacker comes, the other defender has to be a
So
dropper.
real quick, if you've got these 5 rushes right here on the line, those are the only ones that can blitz. You can't bring this backer right in there that you see on the play. That's the illegal defense.
So tough call for Orlando, who seemed to be in a position there for a moment to bring out the field goal kicker. Instead, it's 1st and 10 from the 9-yard line. They keep it on the ground inside Davion Smith, who breaks a tackle or two and picks up
A gain of 5.
about 5 yards on the play.
It's really patient running by Davion Smith there, doing a nice job staying behind his blockers, staying behind his pads, and he's turning what looked to be a 3-yard gain into a 5-yard gain.
Coach, you could kind of feel the momentum and the air kind of come out of the stadium with that penalty. Not only is it a tough penalty, but now you're keeping your defense out on the field. I mean, they've been out there for a long time now on this drive, so they're definitely wearing them down up front.
They're the best defense in the AAF, so they got to rise up here.
Just take him all the way out.
Smith in the deep
Green
eye.
10, green 10. Son.
Takes the ball and is bottled up at the line of scrimmage. Terrific job by Jeremy Falk and Devin Taylor. No gain on the play.
Yeah, Tim Lewis really talked a lot about Jeremy Falk and how much what he's meant to this inside of this Birmingham defense all season. Nice job there. Again, it's one of these young guys who just came in the National Football League in 17 that is really trying to prove that he earns another opportunity.
Yeah, undrafted from Garden City Community College, was with the New York Jets in 2017 in the preseason.
Big 3rd down here for Orlando. For Birmingham. Can they force this Apollos team into a field goal? Gilbert, play action, throwback to the running back, and it's too high, incomplete. You had Ike Spearman, the linebacker, in the vicinity in coverage, but that was just a bad throw.
No.
He missed him. It's a nice play call, Coach. A little sleight of hand there. You know, just hey, fake your quarterback to the right, sneak your running back to the left, going against the grain.
You know, Coach Spurrier, he's got them all. And again, we've seen a couple of his gadget-type plays today already in this football game.
Elliott Fry now on for a 27-yard field goal attempt. And that's right down the middle. Make it 11 for 11 on the season and 3 for 3 for today. That makes it 23-14 Orlando with about 10 seconds here in the 3rd. And don't forget, the AAF.com has all your in-game box scores, statistics, and leaders. Anything and everything for all your AAF needs.
Coach Spurrier very familiar with Elliott Fry. Obviously played for him with those Gamecocks.
Yeah.
And so, you know, very familiar guy, knows his abilities, so very confident in him.
All-time leading scorer in South Carolina history. It's pretty impressive.
Elliott said, hey, I don't have to kick off here.
I thought he kicked a 42 and a 43-yarder in the snow last week in Salt Lake. That was pretty impressive.
All right, so Price The 10 seconds here in the third takes over. The bubble screen outside to Tobias Palmer, and that is sniffed out immediately. A loss of 2. Cody Riggs, the corner, first to get there for Orlando. So that's going to be the end of the third quarter. We'll step aside, come back, and we'll bring you fourth quarter action from Legion Field. Right now, Orlando leads at 23-14. You're watching the Alliance on TNT. You're watching the Alliance of American Football on TNT. Mark Malone along with my friend Marvin Lewis and Sean O'Hare as we take a look at the score by quarters. Orlando jumping out to a 14-0 lead early. And Birmingham has snuck back into this football game. The defense.
Are we like Shaq and Barkley right here with you?
It's like a Pittsburgh thing.
Right? Okay, all right. wait, who gets to be Chuck and who gets to be Shaq?
Keith Price will take over at the 25-yard line.
Shaq took Orlando,
Excuse
right?
me, the 23-yard line. Yep. First and 10. Finds a wide open Palmer against the zone for about an 11-yard pickup. That's Jerome Copeland, the third.
I really think that since the quarterback changed, Mark, and correct me, but that their drop-back passing game has really taken a big step forward for the Birmingham Iron, and that's a nice job there again, delivering an accurate throw on the ball, on the money. Nice job. Good timing, good throw, good catch.
Well, again, Steve Logan had said that Luis Perez was trying to get him to get to the second and third progression. Keith Price obviously more comfortable in that as he comes out gunning again, this one to the right side, and Patton, who does a little bit of a dance and finally gets out of bounds.
Yeah, the ball brought him back a little bit. He had to come back in order to catch the football, so kind of got his body turned around and ends up being, basically a no-gain play.
Nice play by Deje Olatoye for
Coach,
no gain.
Putting that ball on him and more to the inside would have led him away from the defender, and he could have gotten a first down on that. But I'm with you. I think it's all about, just getting comfortable in the pocket. And for Keith Price, he had to run around a little bit to kind of slow the game down with his eyes.
2nd and 9 for Price, who gets out of a tackle, tries to find his way up inside, and finally hit in the backfield for a 1-yard loss. That is Reggie Northup, the third, and Earl O'Kine, the 2 linebackers.
Yeah, Coach Sanders talked a lot about Earl O'Kine. He had him with the Arizona Cardinals as a young player, so he knew a lot about him. And you have called his name a lot today, Mark.
6'7", 265 pounds out of Florida.
Yeah, he leads the team in quarterback hits, and he's working against the right tackle, Dominic Johnson, on that play. But one of the things that's so tough, when you get a pass rusher like that with those long arms, he gets into your chest before you can even set your anchor.
Before the snap, the flags fly, the play blown dead.
Snap infraction. Offense number 79, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's Kid O'Brien, the center. What is a snap infraction? My former center colleague who played many years in the National Football League at that position.
It's a nice way of saying you just had a brain lock. Because as a center, I don't know how you get a false start. You're supposed to be the one guy that knows the snap count.
Yeah, you saw him drop his hips a little bit there, Sean.
Well, look, Kid O'Brien, a fellow Irishman, with a name, if you got an apostrophe in your last name, you're a friend of mine. But I got to give him a little love because, man, he just moved over to center. He made first 3 starts at left guard, so he's got a lot on his plate right now.
3rd and 14 for Price, who throws a dangerous pass into a crowd of defenders. Reggie Northup almost picked it off. It looked like he was intended it for Quentin Patton, the wide receiver, but that is a dangerous throw.
Boy, this is really what you want from your underneath zone defense there. You see them both back in their zones, taking their drops, back in. Great vision on the quarterback and break and drive. And again, nice job there by Reggie Northup, breaking inside out on the football. That's what you teach those linebackers all the time. Go inside out. Don't open those inside throwing lanes. Make that quarterback throw the ball the longest way.
Short punt by Schmidt. Dearness Johnson comes up and fields it and is tagged down at about the 27-yard line. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, more action in the fourth quarter You're watching the Alliance on TNT.
It's official.
Sean, everybody's listening. Well, of course they're listening. We're interesting.
This is Big Bang's final season.
I want to look away, but I can't.
If that wets your whistle, you know where to find me.
So get ready for anything.
What is happening?
I'm just worried that you'll grow cold and distant and seek solace in the arms of a heavily muscled longshoreman.
Where would I find a longshoreman?
Along the shore. It's in the name.
Don't miss a minute of The Big Bang Theory's final season, CBS Thursdays.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
Welcome back to Legion Field, Birmingham, Alabama. The Iron trail in this one, 23-14, with just over 12 and a half minutes remaining. And another big series for this Iron defense, the best in the Alliance.
Well, the pressure comes to them right now, Mark. They really have to do a stop this Apollo offense, get the ball back for their own offense, being 2 scores down. Being 9 points down, they need to get the ball back at least 2 more possessions and score.
Ryan Green now in the game for the respite of Dearness Johnson and Davion Smith. They give it to Green, who picks his way to the left side and picks up about 4 yards on the play.
Yeah, coach really mixes and matches these running backs, and this is where the Apollos have excelled this season, is their ability to run the football to close out their football games.
They took about 12 minutes of the fourth quarter last week in their win at Salt Lake in the snow, and we were talking to Steve Spurrier. I said, listen, you're the old ball coach. You want to throw it. Do you chomp at the bit? Because you've been running it a lot in the fourth quarter.
Green 10.
2nd and 10, Gilbert. The bubble screen outside to Hall, Pick up a 5 before Beniquist, Brown, and Spearman converge on the stop, and that'll be just short of the first down.
It goes into box scores as a throw, but as we know, Sean, that's a nice run for the offensive line. They like that kind of run.
Yeah, just a perimeter run, basically. I like the way they're doing this. They're spreading them out. They went trips right bunch. What does that mean? 3 receivers to the right, all clustered together, but it really spreads out the defense, makes them cover a lot of ground.
Green 10.
Tight wing to the right side. They hand it off to Smith over the left, who breaks the tackle out near midfield, to pick up of about 13 on the play before Jonathan Massapoy brings him down.
Yeah, these are critical downs for this Iron defense now. They got to stop this running game here. And you see, Sean showed you there with the telestration, just mano a mano, and one man ends up a half man short, and he jumps up in there for a first down.
Yeah, the Iron walked their linebacker right up in that front side A-gap, and the center did a good job there, just grabbing them. Looked like pretty easy 3rd and 1.
Smith on the day, by the way, 111 yards on 12 carries, as they keep it on the ground and give it back to Smith over the left side. And here comes the cavalry after a 4-yard gain. Brown, Max Redfield, a host of Iron defenders in on the tackle.
Really, you talked about that earlier, the running back riding the wave, pressing the line of scrimmage, and there's a good shot of him doing just that right there. And it looked like, again, a 2 or 3 yard gain to 5 yards.
2nd down and 5.
Johnson remains, actually in the game now for Devion Smith.
Green 10.
As Garrett works out of the shotgun. 2nd and 5, he looks at the seam and finds his tight end, Scott Orndorff. Beniquist, Brown on the tackle. That's another big gain in the passing game for
That was the
Garrett
first
Gilbert.
touchdown there, Mark. That was the same repeat, just flipped over from their first touchdown in this football game.
There's the tight end right there. I mean, that's an easy pitch and catch right there. You basically got the linebackers playing downhill because you run the ball, and now your tight end just runs right by him.
Did you play for the ball coach? That's what he called it, pitch and catch.
Pitch and catch.
31 yards on the pickup there. Another big play. And the Apollos knocking at the door. 1st and 10. from the 17-yard line. This time it's Dearness Johnson with the carry, a pickup of 5 yards.
Coach, this game, at any level, the NFL, the Alliance, college football, it's all about situational football. Well, right now, Orlando is basically running their 4-minute offense. What does that mean? It's you've got a lead. We're going to mix it up with the run game, with play action pass. We're trying to milk that clock and get first downs. They've done a great job of it. They did a great job last week against Salt Lake. They went on a over 4-minute drive, 8 plays, 75 yards for a touchdown to ice the game against Salt Lake.
They're doing it with chunk plays.
Green time.
Time of possession relatively close. 2nd and 6. The ball up in the air to Charles Johnson. Touchdown Apollos. Talk about pitch and catch. Jamar Summers in coverage there, but doesn't get much easier than that between those two.
No, again, a very fine throw by quarterback Garrett Gilbert. Great separation by wide receiver Charles Johnson.
Oh boy, he got away with a little bit of a hand-to-hand nudge, I'll call it. I won't call it a push-off. All's fair in love and war when you're doing that close quarters combat, but really taking it to Jamar Summers. I think you mentioned the play action and the big chunks, the run game. You can almost, those corners can almost fall asleep out there when they think you're just going to run the ball.
Down.
2-point conversion now for Orlando, 29-14. Fake the jet sweep, the dive back inside, and that's Dearness Johnson.
We have a flag on the play there. We had 2 men moving at the same time there. The motion guy never stopped. So he was as they were getting set, he started in motion.
Legal shield.
Sean, going back to the touchdown, and you talked about the cornerback there, Jamar Summers. Sometimes I don't think the officials understand that when you're running with the guy, that little push on you and how much it affects you and creates such big separation.
Yeah, good point. And that little nudge, when you're running, throws you off balance.
Yeah, it throws you off balance, throws your timing off. You're not able to run and jump is what you've been taught to do.
Yeah.
And now that creates the separation where Garrett Gilbert put it right in that slot.
But I tell you, that's a great matchup right there, though. Jamar Summers, Charles Johnson. Jamar has been phenomenal with the ball in the air. He's been great all season long and locating it, getting his hand up without grabbing the receiver. A lot of times corners, they hear ball in the air and they look back and they kind of panic. They start grabbing guys. Jamar has done a good job.
So after the motion penalty, apparently Steve Spurrier has called a timeout. As we take a closer listen, it's a little bit more of the head ball coach right here.
Yeah, it's going to be a ball game. It's going to be a ball game. Yeah, it is too. Going to have to hit tight end. Tight end. No! Oh, man. God, what a great catch. Yeah, we got no pass rush. Except in practice. It's our ball, let's go. Illegal blitz. Yeah, that's the right call. Don't chicken out. Hey, don't let them chicken out. That's the right call, illegal blitz. They rushed about 7 guys.
They're confirming with replay.
Yeah.
How about you guys? But I can sit here and listen to the old ball coach all day long.
All day long. You gotta love it, Mike. You gotta love it.
Oh, 73 years young, Steve Spurrier. Loves him some football.
Be right over.
This Orlando Apollos up 29-14. They were called for a procedure play on the 2-point conversion. So here we go. Second attempt at the 2-point conversion.
Green 10.
Johnson in the backfield. Gilbert out of the shotgun. Throws it over the middle and finds Jalen Marshall. In the back of the end zone. 2-point conversion good. Makes it 31-14.
Nothing more, fellas. Nothing more.
Really a nice job there, quarterback, receiver, Jalen Marshall. Again, I talked about him earlier in the show. What a great ability this young man has.
All right, we're going to take a quick break as Orlando looks to run away with this. 31-14, the touchdown, the 2-point conversion. It's been all Apollos. More from TNT when we come back.
Free.
That's right. TurboTax Free is free.
free, 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 free.
You don't want to miss your chance to win $7,000 a week for life, do you? I'm happy for you. You could win $7 grand a week for life from Publishers Clearinghouse.
Oh my goodness!
Enter at PCH.com before it's too late. You gotta be kidding me. Better hurry if you want the next big winner to be you. You're kidding. Enter now, and April 26th, you could win $7,000 a week for the rest of your life.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Mark Malone along with Marvin Lewis and Sean O'Hare. We previewed this game as being the best offense against the best defense. It's been all Orlando today, 31-14. We've got about 8.5 minutes left to play. But Garrett Gilbert's been fantastic today. 23 of 35, 286, a couple of touchdowns, the 2-point conversions, quick decisions, catchable balls, accurate throws.
Yeah, he really fit that last one in that Sean was talking about for the 2-point play there. Just excellent throw in there to Jalen Marshall.
You know, he's got great awareness, great command. I mean, he's clearly the MVP of this league so far. And look, I wouldn't be surprised to see him in another NFL roster soon.
So a big hit to open up the series here. That's Will Hill, who just laid the leather.
Will Hill's been doing this for a long time. That's what he did on campus in Gainesville. That's what he's all about, is laying the lick. He did it in the National Football League with the Baltimore Ravens and a couple other clubs he was with during his time. This is how he's hit people.
There's a flag on the play, and you wonder whether or not this will be some sort of a targeting penalty, or there have been a lot of rules adopted by the Alliance, much like the NFL, to try to protect players safety, quarterbacks, as our referee James Carter not only converses with the officials on the field, but apparently somebody in the booth as well.
Really a critical series is all this right now with down like they're down. Birmingham's going to have to move the ball down the field, hit some plays.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
We would assume that's on Will Hill. He didn't call a number, but that looked to be the only big hit on the football field at that play.
Well, I think the quarterback's got to take a little bit of the blame for this as well. You're going to see he's going to lead the receiver. He's coming across here, but he's going to lead him right into the covers. Will Hill drops back. I mean, he's right there. I mean, he just kind of tees it up for him. And I tell you, Will Hill looked like he had his shoulder. I mean, that looked like a shoulder hit.
Yeah,
more really than a helmet hit.
On the numbers.
Looked like the good hit is Price now. 1st and 10, almost throws the pick to Terrence Garvin, who came into this game with 3 interceptions, leading the Alliance, despite missing last week with a knee injury.
Yeah, this is really a repeat of what we saw last series from Northrop on the other side. Great job breaking inside out.
He's coming over to the sidelines, coach, saying, I think I need new gloves. Yeah. I mean, beat him up ball. I mean, that's why he's on defense, right, coach? That's what we'd be saying right now if he was my teammate. I'd be giving him a hard time.
Number 91, Gerald Worthy now. Too much to handle right now for this iron offensive line.
You know what? He's already got a pick 6 this year. He was probably seeing the end zone again.
Price, who took a big shot, dumps the ball down to his running back, Trent Richardson, on 2nd and 10. Garvin in on the tackle. A gain of an 8 on the play.
I know it was just an 8-yard gain, but I do think you saw Price there look for the football down the field. He looked for an option down the field, which is the only thing that's going to get these guys back in this football game.
Just under 8 minutes to play now in the 4th. Price on 3rd and 2. Steps up under pressure, and they'll drag him down. That's Anthony Moten Jr. there first. A loss of 2 on the play. Leon Orr also in on the sack.
Well, we heard Coach Spurrier say, well, we can't get a pass rush except in practice. Well, guess what? You just got it. The right guard, Michael Dunn, you're going to see him right here.
Birmingham.
He's going to get beat
30 seconds
by Anthony Moten Jr. Just, you know, kind of a coverage sack there, Coach, because he had time to throw the ball, but he can only block for so long right there.
Well, those rushers compressed the pocket in on the quarterback, and he wasn't able to have vision up down the field to release it. But again, a decision here obviously by Birmingham to go for it on 4th down. Big part of it.
That's the 5th sack of the day for Orlando, who, by the way, posted 4 sacks last week, which was the most in a single game all season for this Apollos defense.
So they're one-upping themselves. 9 sacks in 2 games. I don't know what coach is talking about. He can't get a pass rush.
Well,
how many does he want?
They have had the lead more than any other team in the Alliance as well. And so they've had these touchdown leads or more, 2-score leads, where they've been able to rush the passer.
Yeah, they've only trailed 1 time, and that was week 2 at San Antonio. That definitely helps you rush out.
So down 31-14, under 8 minutes to play, 4th and 5. Tim Lewis elects to go for it as Ladarius Perkins in the backfield with Price, who cuts it over the middle of the field, intended for Jamal Robinson. There's a flag on the play as DJ Latoye was in on the coverage.
Latoye looked like he just a little bit early on the back of the wide receiver and riding him all the way down inside.
You can't make the play on the ball through the receiver. And I don't know, I can't see the replay yet to know if he went over the top and grabbed him with the offhand.
Fouls on the play. Holding. Defense number 38. That penalty is declined. Pass interference. Defense number 38. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
He got his money's worth.
Got his money's worth indeed.
Yeah, I think he said the wrong number there. I think it was on number 30.
It was on number 30.
Yeah, I was going to say there is no 38 on the football team. I think you're right.
Correction right there.
I see. I didn't see the pass interference, Coach. I don't know if you saw one there, but
no, I didn't.
Price looking to go deep and get it back with one play. Takes it in Washington White in great coverage, and it falls incomplete.
Well, we talked about it. This is what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to find a way to get the ball in the end zone quickly.
And Washington, as we mentioned earlier, not only a big catch radius, but Luis Perez was talking to us this week, says this guy can take the top off the defense. Got maybe the best speed of all the wide receivers on that roster. All right, 2nd and 10. Price. Out to the numbers on the right side, intended for Pat Marquez White again in coverage. And White now 2 for 2 on consecutive downs.
Marquez White, one of those, again, young defensive backs that are getting live reps here in the Alliance, where they have to cover people, they have to tackle, and there's no way to replicate this any other way.
6th-round draft pick by the Dallas Cowboys back in 2017, has played at least 7 preseason games with the Cowboys over the last couple of years. That'll bring up a 3rd and 10.
That's surprising right there, Mark. 2 for 11 on 3rd down. They were one of the best in the league coming into today.
Price has a wide open wide receiver on the left sideline, Patton, and just misses him. And I think if you're Tim Lewis, you kind of got to go for it here, don't you?
Well, yeah, they've already gone for it on 4th and 5. So now obviously they got to continue down this trend. They need 3 scores.
You know, you could talk about quarterback accuracy, and, you know, Price has shown that he can put the ball when he wants to, but a lot of that it's timing too. You know, the fact that he probably didn't get a lot of the first-team reps with Luis Perez taking the reps in practice, you know, he's getting some of these plays in live game speed for the first time with these receivers.
Price out of the shotgun on 4th and 10, works the ball to the left side. It has as a receiver Tobias Palmer, but did he come up short?
I think he's going to be short, Mark.
The spot would indicate that it will be Apollo's ball. Olatoye again in on the tackle, and it looks like James Carter. Is he going to call for the chains, or is he going to make the call here? I think he's going to bring the chains in.
Well, I was told there'd be no math today, but I don't know what a 9-yard route does for you on 4th and 10.
Well, if you're Charles Johnson, you can catch it, get down, and pick up a yard or two. If you're Patton, it doesn't work out that way.
Yeah,
you know where the sticks are and run your route accordingly. You got to run it at 12, right? So when you come back, you're ahead of the sticks. I mean, I didn't play receiver, Coach, but
yeah,
I listened.
You can see, take another look at the play. The ball, plenty of cushion there. Had plenty of room to run the route another 2 yards deeper.
I think the ball brings him back just a touch, you know, but you got to get the route depth. You know, we'll see from this replay here.
I mean, look at the cushion.
Get the route depth to begin with.
I mean, there's a huge cushion by the corner. He's giving it to you.
So the Apollos will take over on downs. Up 31-14.
Left tackle's in his lap, too. That didn't help. He couldn't really step into the throw. Boy, Brandon Green's had his handful out there at left tackle.
Bringing the formation tight to the right side and keep it on the ground, as you might expect. That's Dearness Johnson. About 7-8 yards on the pickup before Jack Tocho brings him down.
Dearness, who started the game today, he wants to get his yardage back up over there. What Devon Smith has done today. D. Smith has done a great job. And, you know, Dearness said, hey, what about me?
Johnson, 45 yards on the day. He had the 31-yard rush earlier. Devion Smith, as you mentioned, 13 carries, $116, the 40-yard run. And that's quite a stable of running backs the old head football coach has.
Yeah, and he was their leading receiver before Charles Johnson had his last catch.
Green 10, green 10. Set up.
They stay on the ground. Johnson again with a couple of yards. Let's call it 3, and they'll move the chains there.
Good, tough running again. This is how they've been so successful, is getting in these with the lead in the fourth quarter. They've been able to go into their 4-minute offense mode and run the game out.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago against Memphis, they ran the ball in the fourth quarter 11 times for 116 yards.
There you go. You're
Took
good.
the final drive, 5.5 minutes off the clock. So they've done a great job closing them out.
Doesn't seem right. We good? You know what you're doing? Down. Green 10, green 10. Set it up.
Garrett Gilbert getting everybody straightened out on 1st and 10. Hands the ball off in the backfield to Johnson, who's hit in the backfield. We've got a flag on the play.
Are y'all watching them on offense? They're holding every play. And we haven't thrown one flag. I don't know. I'm just saying. Are y'all even watching them on offense?
I love it. Garrett Gilbert's working the refs, too.
Do you think he gets that from Steve Spurrier?
Holding. Offense number 74. The penalty is declined. 2nd down.
That penalty called on Marquise Lucas, number 74, who is out of West Virginia. Kind of inconsequential now with Orlando up 31-14 in this game.
There we go. Hey,
Take a look at the running back comparison here, huh? 20 carries between the two of them and over 160-some yards. With the big carries, 31 and 41 or 40-yard rushes
green 10.
for Smith and Johnson today. Garrett keeps it on the ground, and again, this Birmingham defense starting to swarm now as Johnson loses maybe a yard. Adeoye is one of the first Iron defenders in on the play.
Well, you got to go ahead and take the timeout here, too, though, as well, though. Might as well stop the clock, get the ball back, and keep going forward, all right? But Garrett does have he has a great composure about him. His banner back and forth talking with the officials all day, you know. He's not pleading, but he's like, hey, you got to look at that.
We're getting a little glimpse into life as a quarterback, right? He's telling his tight end, hey, do you know what you're doing on this play? He's got to tell him what to do. He's telling the refs how to call their job.
Green 10.
That's great.
3rd and 10, they keep it on the ground, this time to Devion Smith, who picks up maybe 3 or 4. Deoye again in on the tackle.
Good operation, fellas, good operation.
You know, we talk about Garrett, though, and here's a guy, I mean, this is not his first rodeo.
No.
He's been in the National Football League, a 6th-round pick with St. Louis. He was on the Super Bowl champion New England Patriots team back in Super Bowl 49. You're around a guy like Josh McDaniels and Tom Brady. I mean, he's learned a lot of football.
He has. And Sean, you know, you've been in the huddle with guys like this. You want to have a guy that has that kind of composure to him, being able to talk to rather than the guy that's panicking all over the place.
Yeah, you're the CEO of the offense. You're the guy in the huddle there. You've got to manage different personalities, different situations.
And I know certainly when they come to the sideline, I want them to talk to me that way and have that look in their eye.
Ben Turk with a big hit. And it is called for as a fair catch by Hyman inside the 10-yard line. 47 yards on the punt, and Orlando is going to be, again, working out of deep in their own territory.
It's a shot there of quarterback Luis Perez, who was pulled after the interception that was returned for a touchdown. And, you know, Tim Lewis and the Iron are going to have it's going to be a big decision this coming week of who becomes the starting quarterback. We've seen it throughout the alliance where Murray now is starting. We've had these opportunities where these quarterback changes have sparked these offensive football teams.
And you have, go ahead, John.
Well, I'm just noting that the playlist right now in the stadium is "Don't Stop Believing." I think that's both for the team and for Luis Perez.
Price works out of the shotgun into his own end zone under pressure. Finally dumps it down to the running back. Trent Richardson breaks a tackle.
Man, he is a wrecking ball, isn't he?
That is a good analogy. He is a wrecking ball.
It's like bodies just flying, bouncing off of him.
18 yards on the pickup.
And believe me, that's what I thought when we, studied him coming out of University of Alabama. And then unfortunately, he gets drafted up the road in Cleveland. You're thinking, oh my, we got to get guys to tackle that guy.
You coached some thoroughbreds as well. Jamal Lewis, right? When you were in Baltimore.
Jamal Lewis in Baltimore. And then, unfortunately, went up to Cleveland. I had to coach against him.
Oh, yeah. Man, he had a couple 200-yard games, didn't he?
He did have 200 yards.
Price dumps the ball down to Richardson.
Did it to us, too, when I was in Cleveland,
yards.
so that wasn't just a
there's a flag on the play.
To the face. Defense number 99. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Penalties on Giorgio Newberry.
This does speak, though, to Trent's athleticism, his ability. The fact that in these situations, he is still in the game. Not only as a protector, but as a guy that can catch the football.
But for somebody looking for a second opportunity, the fact that you only have 10 regular season games, it's not like you're looking to take any plays off, are you?
No plays off.
Yeah. Price under pressure to the near sideline, badly misses his intended target, Quentin Patton.
Yeah, right now the offensive line's getting pushed back up into his face. Might be one of these downs, particularly after an earned first down, a good opportunity for maybe a little screen, Sean. Take a little pressure off the guys up front a little bit.
Help these guys out. The offensive line right now, I mean, they know this is basically one-on-one pass rush time for them. They know that the defense is teeing off on them, and the left tackle, Brandon Green, I mentioned it before, he's got his hands full right now going up against Ankara, number 55. He's a good rusher.
Brandon Ross in the backfield with Price on 2nd and 10. Dumps the ball down to Ross, who breaks one tackle and then is wrestled to the ground by Terrence Garvin. Pick up of 4 yards on the play.
The linebackers are dropping back into those throwing lanes, so it does lend a good opportunity after an earned first down or maybe early in this series to drop a ball off on the screen.
Left guard Avery Young got hog-tied, this guy.
Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 2nd down.
Well, they ran a little twist game inside here, and I don't know if I drew it, right there, but you can see him. Watch him just pull this. He pulls him by the collar. I mean, you got to make it a little less obvious than that, but watch him pull 91 down.
Well, one of the nuances, though, is the pick by the defensive tackle coming across. Does a great job of picking the offensive guard and not being able to make the pass coming back.
They're on different levels.
Coming down to the 2-minute warning, 2nd and 20. Price again on the crossing route to Patton, who is drilled. 2 yards on the pickup. Will Hill is there to make the play. That's the 2-minute warning. Orlando leads at 31-14. We're back with more Alliance on TNT after this.
My search for the right bar stool is on. One where I'll be sitting pretty. This one, the perfect bar stool at the perfect price. Here at home, where you'll find every style with the biggest selection at the best prices.
I've been a soldier for 3 years. I've scaled the toughest terrain and faced plenty of my fears as part of my training. And for the past 2 years, I've been a Navy Federal member. So even out here, I can pay securely with mobile pay, linked to my free checking account.
I don't know about this.
What did you say?
She said, I don't know about
I
that.
couldn't hear my helmet.
No, your ears are completely exposed.
Yeah, I just...
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Welcome back to Legion Field. Mark Malone along with Marvin Lewis and Sean O'Hara. Here's today's TurboTax game-breaking highlights of the game. And, of course, it's our friend Keith Reeser right there. The pick, the return for the touchdown, his second of the season, and third interception of this season for the Apollos defensive back. And, of course, that got Luis Perez pulled. That's where he broke free. Again, our TurboTax breaking free highlight of the game.
Nice job by Reeser. He should have had two.
Yeah, he
another
should
one
have
hit
had
him. Yeah, he's been that's his second touchdown of the season, so he's on his way to another Defensive Player of the Week award.
3rd and 18. Again, Price working underneath. To Ladarius Perkins. Beje Olatoye, who, by the way, had been on injured reserve with a knee injury, has also played, I think, 15 NFL games with an assortment of teams, including Dallas, Atlanta, and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Olatoye, one of those big, long guys that you really like to have in your defensive secondary.
So 4th and 11 for Price. Scrambles right, buying time, and back over the middle of the field, he finds Devontae Felton. And that Will Hill is knocking some people out, isn't he?
They call him the thrill for a reason.
Flag on the play, a 27-yard pickup.
We talked about earlier, Will was with the Giants, with the Ravens. You know, he's had significant snaps. I think almost 50 starts in the National Football League.
Yeah, he had 4 interceptions, 2 touchdowns.
Legal forward pass. Offense number 8. Penalties, a loss of down at the previous spot. Be first down, Orlando on the change of downs.
So there you have it, a legal forward pass. Apparently past the line of scrimmage, Sean.
Yeah, there you see the blue line is the 28-yard line. He clearly goes over right there, tries to come back, but both feet over the line. It's 4th down. You got to throw it up, but he should have thrown it up sooner.
Well, Keith Price, again, you know, when you come in as you talked about it earlier, how many snaps, how many reps he's really gotten in practice. You come in down by 2 touchdowns already.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock. 1:05 on the game clock. 1:05.
You're not in Birmingham, Marvin, but you're a former head coach. Now you've got to make a decision with the quarterback situation. Do you go back to Perez next week, or do you look to stay with Price?
Well, one of the things I was going to say earlier is we're not privy to what's been going on in practice. How has Luis Perez looked in practice? Because that's what the coaches are evaluating, the whole body of work, not just these games, but the entire body of work.
Best formation in football. Garrett Gilbert and the Apollos get in the victory formation.
Only when you're on the correct side of it, Mark.
That's true.
They've done it 3 weeks in a row now.
And the 73-year-old Steve Spurrier will remain undefeated at 5-0. I think that guy loves football. Austin Appleby is in taking snaps now for Garrett.
Yeah, he did.
I know you was on TV. You just left me hanging like that on that.
No! Good job,
Does
brother.
it surprise you that Spurrier found a quarterback like Garrett Gilbert, was able to coach him up like this so well in such a short period of time?
You know, the process of coaching him up, that hasn't surprised me. His quarterbacks have always been productive players. He has just a knack in a way. Garrett Gilbert talked about that in our talk with him. Of, him being in the quarterback room. Coach Spurrier lit up when he talked about being in the quarterback room.
Good luck to y'all, Tim. Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I've been impressed.
Hey, man. Thank you. Good luck.
2 weeks in a row now, they've gone on the road. They battled the conditions last week.
Good luck,
Snow,
guys.
obviously weather not a factor here, but #1 defense in the league. And I tell you what, they put up that 30 burger I was talking about, Coach. You hungry yet?
They got it. I got it now. In Birmingham, got a 30 burger.
The final 31-14. We'll step aside. We'll come back and wrap things up from the booth here as the Orlandos stay undefeated, 5-0. You're watching the Alliance on TNT.